Home heroine screams, demanding that boy returned her things. But the young man responded, asks, "What this is, weird aunt?" He says that the owner sold it himself to him, this sword. So why on earth should it something to give? Girl objects that she ordered this sword again some months ago. However, young man advises her to talk to the owner. Of course it is. It's unpleasant, but nothing can be done. Home heroine climbs over the boxes and yells at the guy to wait. Lady understands that I'm out of breath, but I can go more. Maybe. In this moment, girl notices that the guy has reached a dead end and says that now he's definitely caught. She enough boy, and says that if he is good, she will let him go in peace. But at that very moment, young man pulls out from her hands her cape and then completely jumps up. Home, the heroine is shocked by how he jumped high and thought, is he really a human being? The young man in this time states that Lady more grow and grow to catch him and let him. She better is coming home. Young woman confused thinks what should she do, and is he really from her after all? Will run away. But here she is, something remembers. The lady putting her hand in her bag decides, since that's the case, she will apply Monster Trap Ball. It was made based on her favorite cartoons. She never tested it on humans, but can't let the guy escape. The main character is clever, throws the ball and shouts that the little one definitely won't escape. Young man surprised asks what she at all is trying to do, and asks stop this children's garden. But here he is inside the ball. Home heroine, with interest, looks at him. She says that it seems to him will have to give up. But the guy shouts that this is a strange thing, and it is not so easy to catch it. Heroine demands that he give up the sword and promises let go. But the boy is interested, knows she at least who is he? And if he doesn't want problems, let him will release him immediately. Young woman answers that has no idea who he is, but first to him will have to get out from here. If he doesn't part with the sword, then forever will remain in this ball. In the end, the guy gives up the sword. Home. The heroine finally takes the sword in her hands, rejoices, and tells the guy to wait. She will pay for it, and asks how much must. The boy just thrashes the ball catcher, and then tells the lady to go away. The main character understands that she got away with almost no losses, and the young man tells her not to let the lady catch his eye again, otherwise he will pay. When he leaves, the girl thinks, does the guy really not understand, and did she do something wrong? Well then, the girl realizes that everything is okay now, and she can take off the mask. The uncle thinks how good it is that she put on the magic cloak, because she will live. This lady's name is Sharena Weiss, and she is the second child in the family of Baron West. The girl realizes that she needs to check something, and when she opens the checklist of plans to escape from Ojagyo, that magic feather crosses out the point about getting the dwarf sword. The main character realizes that her plan almost went downhill because of the boy. At the same moment, the lady hears someone else calling her, and the girl wonders if time has really flown by so quickly. The girl immediately screams that she is there and understands that now she can proceed to the next goal. A little while later, the lady arrives at Ogren Academy. Someone says that they should have told the lady where to go since she was almost late for the entrance ceremony. At the same moment, someone else asks his brother why he was so worried, because it's not too late, and everything is fine with Hess too. The young man then claims that no matter how much he talks, it's all useless. But in childhood, the girl was nicer. This guy is the eldest son in the West family, and his name is Haroon West. Another girl replies that Sharena is still cute. Her name is Hestia Flauta, and the girl are the best friends of the main character. The young man at this time says that yes, but wonders if the girl can't at least sometimes smile at her brother, like in childhood. The main character answers that she will do it only if he again draws a map of the world on the blanket, like he did when he was 7 years old. Haroon also notices that the caretaker is coming and claims that he will tell them about the entrance ceremony and school life so that they can ask him anything they need. The young man also says that they will see each other later and congratulates the lady on her admission. And then the warden approaches the lady and tells them to follow him. The man says that first of all, let him tell the lady about the entrance ceremony. The check-in to the dorm happens after the ceremony, confirming the time of classes. At this time, the girl turns to Sharena and asks what she will choose too, which the lady replies that fencing. Hestia is a little surprised and claims that boys don't like this and ladies are not serious. Sharena answers that both boys and girls are equal in the point system. So what's the point in worrying? It doesn't matter what other people think, because she has to do what she wants. The other girl is silent for a while after that, and then she says that she doesn't understand Hestia, and suggests that it would be better to go with her. Otherwise, they won't have any common activities. At this time, the main character pays attention to the black dragon, which is the symbol of the academy. The girl sees a huge fountain and understands that it is immediately obvious that she is in a prestigious academy. There are the best teachers there, which is perfect for her next goal, and the lady realizes that she only needs to stay in the background to avoid the dark future she saw. A short while later, someone suggests starting the induction ceremony right now and welcomes the new students. Hestia turns to her friend and asks if they shouldn't sit in the front because that's where the best seats are. The girl replies that she doesn't want to stand out, after which she even says that the speech will drag on, so she'd better take a nap. At the same moment, someone announces that this time, a new student representative will greet them with a speech. Haley Ord Ians, after which he asks this man to rise, and the main character realizes that she has heard this name somewhere. Then the lady even thinks that this is the name of the crown prince, but there were rumors that he was going to enroll this year. And the girl wonders if this is true. But when she sees the prince, she is completely shocked. Looking at him, the lady thinks why this guy is there. A little while later, someone says that new students whose assignments in the dorm are completed can go further. If they need help, they should contact the administrator. The students are whispering that the crown prince himself is coming to the representatives of the new students. And another lady replies that she heard that this year, there was a big competition between the new boys entering A. Someone else says that he heard that a student from the Marcus family came to their school and their girls were delighted. Well, at that very moment, one of the students notices the lady and asks another if he knows who this girl is. Another one asks if his friend is talking about that girl with pink hair who is next to the gloomy girl, but she is like an angel. At the same moment, Hestia looks at these guys, and one of them whispers to the other that the lady looked into his eyes and also wonders what he should do. The lady with pink hair at this time asks what's wrong with her face. Shirani, and was she really scared too? Which the girl replies that she was not at all. But the girl thinks that if only the person she let go last time was not the crown prince, then it would be good. Well, he also goes to fencing and the lady thinks isn't her life over. Moreover, the name of this guy irritates her so much, and the girl realizes that she seems to be going crazy. At this time, Hestia asks what her friend is talking about, and the main character replies that nothing. The girl also asks where her friend needs to go, because her room is at the end of this corridor. Her interlocutor replies that she thought that the lady was in a bad mood because she and the prince would no longer be able to see each other often, and the girl asks if that is true. The main character replies that they have a joint lesson in the morning, and why did Hestia even think that she would be upset? The girl then says that the lady will have fun with the boys from the fencing department, and she will see because she is going to make many friends besides her. The main character says that Hestia is her best friend, and she knows about it, after which the girl even suggests seeing each other more often. Well then, Hestia says that even if the boys from fencing confess their feelings to her, then let Shirena not forget her, because she is very worried. The main character looks at her friend and thinks, is this possible? After which she keeps telling him that she is leaving because she needs to unpack her things quickly, and the girl asks if her friend knows where her room is. When the main character moves on, she thinks what a fool her friend is. The lady approaches her room and realizes that it looks like it is there. The girl also sees a nameplate. The lady understands that she needs to look because her roommate is Hazel Minage, and she is already in her 3rd year of study, after which the girl knocks on the room and realizes that it would be great if this lady turns out to be nice. When the main character enters the room, she apologizes for intruding, but at the same moment, someone asks if she is Shirena West. This lady is the head of a makeup class named Hazel Minage. The main character greets the girl and asks to take care of her. Her interlocutor replies that she used to live alone in a room, and now Shirena has appeared. She is a 1st-year student, after which the girl apologizes and says that she is in a bad mood. The main burning one thinks, what is this? And is she really tired? And her interlocutor says that, however, the girl is a cutie and looks okay too. Hazel suggests trying hard, to which the main character agrees. Her interlocutor at this time asks what the matter is and why her face is so gloomy. The girl invites her neighbor to get comfortable, and the main character realizes that despite her appearance, this girl is kind of cute. Her interlocutor at this time asks what faculty the lady has, but when she answers that it is fencing, then the girl is a little surprised and asks what she just said. The main character repeats it again, and Hazel at that very moment grabs her by the shoulders and asks if the lady is talking about waving a sword and why she went there at all. Sharena. They answer that it is fencing and she just wants to do it. Her interlocutor asks if the lady is serious, since at this rate, it will be difficult for her to find a husband. The main character replies that even if she doesn't get married, everything will be fine because she will provide herself with income and benefits so that she won't have to worry about her old age. The girl standing in front of her just smiles after that and says that Sharena is so independent, and that's cool. She also says that she really likes the lady and suggests that they become best friends. The main character understands that people react differently. Someone is surprised and asks what kind of nonsense this is, and others say that it's very cool and the girl is so independent. The lady, of course, understands why this happens, but it's still unusual. Her interlocutor is interested in helping the lady unpack things, and she replies that she would be grateful. Sharena understands that in this world, working girls are still a rarity, and she would never have thought about such a thing if it weren't for that dream. When the girl was in the dream, she understood that it was so long ago, but she immediately understood everything. She dreamed of her past life, and the lady, and remembers the dream she had when she was 5 years old. In her dream about her past life, her name was Han Yena, and then the girl realized that the current world is the world of novels that she read in her past life. Still, the lady thought that there was nothing wrong with it. But the problem is that Shireen's character will fall into eternal sleep with his own hands if he follows in the footsteps of the original story. First, there will be bankruptcy of the family, and then a marriage of convenience. So the lady understands that this is a complete horror. In fact, one of the reasons for her unhappiness is Hestia, but the girl has known her since childhood and cannot leave her. All the lady can do is become financially independent, and sometimes in this dream, she reads a book with herself in the role of Enish, understanding the content of the original work and avoiding handshakes as much as possible. The lady decided to see what would happen this time and hoped that it would help, after which she saw fragments from the book. One character was wondering where the girl dared to go. After all, he hasn't finished speaking yet, and this lady belongs only to him, so let her not drive him crazy. Hestia asked to stop and not to do this. Now the main character jumps out of bed in shock and screams. Her neighbor asks if everything is okay, because people must have had a nightmare since she jumped out of bed like that. Sharena answers that yes, and she believes that it is, so. In fact, it was a terrible nightmare. And now the main character thinks that now she understands everything. That's why she felt so awkward when she heard the prince's name. A little while later, the girl is sitting in class, and the teacher says that in their time, dragons are considered creatures from legends. But as they should know, Horde is an extremely important person in their kingdom. According to the legend of the founding of the kingdom, the first emperor defeated the black dragon, thus the symbol of their academy. The main character at this time stops listening and remembers this terrible dream. The lady couldn't even imagine that Haley was so obsessed. The girl also remembers their first meeting, and also how the guy told her not to dare to catch his eye, because next time he won't let her go. Even though no one had seen him, the new guy made a disgusting one impression. It's so similar to her from the past, and the girl thinks why she did it at all. Hestia wonders if Shirenu something worries, and her interlocutor replies that it doesn't matter, because she's still sleepy. A little while later, the lesson ends, and the main character hides everywhere. When they sit in the dining room, Hestia says that Sharena, some strange one, wonders if she is avoiding someone. The main character shows surprise and wonders why she would avoid someone. Her interlocutor says that the lady does nothing but hide and look around. Sharena replies that she was hiding because she was looking at the school building, and it seemed strange to her. The lady with pink hair asks if this is really true, and the girl replies that yes, she does stupid things sometimes. Her interlocutor says that it is understandable, but if the lady has any problems, then let her not be afraid and tell her everything. The main character agrees and understands that she would like to tell them to the lady, but it concerns her, so she doesn't even know how to say it. The name of the novel she was obsessed with is Hestia's Boyfriend. It is a novel in which Hestia is the main character, and Sharena is her best friend. Despite the fact that the girl is a secondary character, she attracted the attention of many men. But this did not make her figure surrounded by romance. She and Hestia combined the image of a matchmaker. People approaching Sharena had only one goal. Men are to blame for everything. The lady understands that if it weren't for her popular girl best friend, nothing bad might have happened. At this time, the lady with pink hair asks, "What is the matter?" And the main character answers that nothing, because she is just looking a. The girl realizes that one way or another, she never liked the original plot, so she's not going to waste her life being a matchmaker. A little while later, the lady states that the dinner is over. The main character claims that she needs to change for a fencing lesson, so she goes one. And her interlocutor says that even if the boy in the story will court the lady, then let her not forget about her. Sharena replies that this will not happen. A little while later, the girl changes into a fencing uniform and realizes that this is a big deal after all. No matter how hard she tries to avoid him, Haley is also in the fencing department, so they will have to see each other every day. He was in the process of transformation when they first met, but if the guy is not stupid, he will notice right away. Grown up then, but now she doesn't. And the lady understands that she has nowhere to go now. A little while later, the girl goes outside and the other students notice her. The lady thinks that this is great because she covered her face with a towel and no one will recognize her. But when everyone looks at her, the girl thinks, why are they looking at her like that? Because Haley is on the other side. Luckily, he prefers to be alone, not paying attention to those around him, and the lady thinks that her plan worked. This way, the guy won't recognize her, and she will remain unnoticed if they suddenly cross paths. Well, at that very moment, the teacher tells the students to line up in 2 rows. The main character thinks it's amazing, and the teacher says that since this is the first lesson, it is meant to identify their strengths, so he asks them to try harder. At this time, the main character notices that most likely she and the principal will be in a couple. After all, she doesn't want to meet him and hates him more than anyone else. Maybe because the original work was a so-so product. There were almost no male characters, and among them, number 1 is the one she wants to avoid the most. This man is madly obsessed, Prince Haley. In order to seduce Hestia, he gained Sharena's trust and seduced her. When his plan went wrong, this psychopath revealed his true nature and caused trouble for Sharena. The girl understands that this is not because she is still young, and the lady is sure that one day she will get a taste for it. For the sake of a carefree life, she must do it. After which the ladies approach the teacher, who asks if she is the only girl in their department. He also says that it's nice to meet you, and the main character replies that it's nice to meet you too, but tells the teacher that she's not good enough for sparring yet. The lady asks if she can practice alone for a while, but the machine turns to Sharena again, and he tells her to listen carefully because the girl cannot avoid this just because she is scared. He knows that the lady is afraid to compete with young boys, but let her go all the way with passion in her heart and be brave. The main character apologizes in her thoughts, but understands that this is not the case. The man at this time says that the teacher respects the lady for choosing this path. Being a girl, he will always support her in all difficulties, so he can't let the lady escape this test so that she can become a real knight. Instead, he offers her a little help, and the main character asks what kind. The teacher immediately turns to Haley and asks if he can come over for a minute. The main character is shocked and thinks about what he just said, and this is the worst outcome of all. When the prince approaches the teacher asks if he can ask him for a favor. The man says that if the boy does him a favor, he won't let His Majesty know that he was hanging around during the fencing lesson. The boy replies that he wasn't hanging around. Well, when the teacher asks what he did, then the young man just remains silent. The main character understands that, after she began to dream about her past life, no matter what other people saw, her goal was clear. While other people said they would marry a prince and want to raise a unicorn, the main character claimed that she was going to become a civil servant. Her goal was to live in prosperity, and she wanted to achieve this by becoming an imperial knight because they have the largest pensions. The lady understood that she needed to study harder, and she set herself up for this every night. The girl looked at her reflection and said that she was the best and could do it. The lady also worked hard every day to strengthen her stamina and practiced fencing and everything else. The girl also did not forget to take care of herself. So now she is in her thoughts and asking for a teacher. Stop, because he will ruin her years of hard work. She could spend the rest of her life in prison for insulting a member of the royal family. The guy at this time asks if the teacher wants him to train this girl until she can spar with the others. The main character thinks that this can't be true, but the teacher replies that everything is correct, and for this, he promises that he won't tell anyone anything, after which the teacher says that the guy should start. The young man then approaches the towel lady and says that from now on, she will practice with him. A little while later, the teacher says that from now on, they start the competition, and the teacher asks to start with the first students in each row. And the prince at this time suggests to the lady to go the other way and tells her to follow him. When they move away a little, the young man claims that it is quiet there. He also turns to Summer and asks why she is wearing a towel. Haley asks if she did something wrong, to which the lady shakes her head. But when the guy asks, why doesn't she take off the towel then? But the girl shakes her head even more forcefully. The young man gets angry after this and wonders if she won't even answer him, because this makes him angry. So let her take away that damn towel. Sharena understands that she cannot and will never do this, because she cannot let him know who she is. At this time, the guy asks why the teacher entrusted him with this child. The main character thinks that this is good, and if he is not satisfied with something, let him say that he will not do it. The young man then says that if the lady is so frivolous, then why did she choose fencing if she is not going to do everything right? But at that very moment, the guy understands something and looks menacingly at the lady. The main character wonders why he suddenly stared at her, as if he was going to devour her. And did he really notice? But her interlocutor claims that he is fed up, after which everyone asks him if she really likes him too. The main character thinks what he is talking about, and her interlocutor says that the lady came to the fencing faculty to have the opportunity to see him, and she is the same as the others. The guy also asks why he is so unresistible, and the main character thinks that he is bringing a ban, after which she thinks that it is quite ridiculous, but her heart, which had been squeezed with tension, relaxed at the same moment. The lady replies that this is nonsense, but her interlocutor says that she is lying otherwise. Why would she continue to stare at him like that? She put on this weird towel on purpose to look pathetic. The main character thinks she also covers her face with something similar to look pathetic. The young man immediately grabs the sword from her hand and asks how the lady dares to take up arms for such a ridiculous reason. He also shouts that this is only the first day, so transferring from there will not be difficult, and let her immediately leave the fencing department. The main character asks what he is talking about, and her interlocutor says that it is truly disgusting, so she should quickly leave there. Sharena becomes furious, and her interlocutor says that he just wasted his time. The main character is interested in who the crown prince is to draw such conclusions. The guy turns to the lady and says that she is so annoying, and also wonders why the girls come there at all. The lady replies that it is clearly not because of the boy who thinks he is irresistible. The prince asks what her reason is then, but the girl at that very moment screams out that it's money. After all, her goal is wealth and glory, and for that she must become a knight. Her name will be famous as the most beautiful in the kingdom, and also the position and the mansion, the salary and the pension. So let him not misunderstand her. After all, her reasons are not 100% related to the crown prince. The guy looks at her a little angry and understands that he is happy, but something worries him. The main character at this time wonders if he is finished, then let him return her wooden ball. The young man then wonders if her reason is true. Sharena, in response to this, asks if this is not the meaning of life. Hey Guy heard this laugh and understands that he has already heard it somewhere, after which he even tells the girl to wait and asks if they have met before, because her voice is familiar to him. The main character realizes that she was so excited that she spoke more rudely than usual, after which she says that this can't be. But at that very moment, the lady who recently took the sword from him remembers her. The girl also asked that if he did not want to give up the sword, then let him stay in this ball for the rest of his life. At that very moment, the guy screams for the girl to take off this towel because he needs to check something. At the same moment, he rips the towel off the lady and asks if she was that woman. When the main character tries to justify herself, the young man only screams that this is the woman who stole his dwarven sword a couple of days ago, and she was disguised by magic. The girl wonders why she would do something like that, and it must be imagining things to him, while the young man at the same moment wonders how he can forget those red eyes and nasty voice. The main character at the same moment says that after this lesson there will be lunch, but the young man screams out what she is talking about and suggests not to evade. The girl says that the school lunches are very tasty, so she is looking forward to it, and she means that she is going to help the waiters set the table. Haley asks why she needs it, and that she shouldn't be stupid. The guy also screams where Jana went. The lady moving away from him asks what he is talking about. The young man asks if she is really going to stand there, and the lady dares to retreat when he orders her to stay put. The girl then replies that the prince was careless in small things, and the young man immediately becomes furious, after which he starts screaming, "Does she really want to be punished for insulting the imperial family?" The main character runs away from him and realizes that it was a mistake and that he should stop talking to himself already. The young man screams, "Does the girl really think she can escape from him?" The main character understands that the prince said that he watches his movements very carefully, and if so, she simply activates speed magic, after which the ratings run away from him. This girl runs past the teacher, and then in shock asks where she is going, because they have a lesson. Shrena notes that she is running to the toilet. One of the students asks if she is nervous, because she was paired with their handsome prince, and it seems that Haley is very popular. Well, at that very moment, the guy behind them tells these guys to repeat what they just said. He also looks menacingly at the running lady. A little while later, someone asks the main character if she is already returning to her room. After nothing, the girl even suggests going for a little walk, and her interlocutor claims that the fencing lessons turned out to be very exhausting, and she is tired, so she wants to go to bed early. Hestia immediately hugs her friend and asks why she went to such a faculty, and then let her go and rest. The girl also says that they will see tomorrow morning, and the main character agrees. In her thoughts, the lady apologizes to Hestia. No understands that she is not able to idle away her time on the street because of the prince. In any case, it's serious because she can't continue to avoid him until the end of her studies. After which, the girl goes up the stairs, and upon entering the room, immediately falls onto the bed. The lady sighed heavily and thought about what she should do tomorrow. After that, she kept looking at her handbag, and hearing some sounds, she understands that it looks like a voice message. The girl also wonders if it is from home. When she finally finds the magical item, at that very moment, someone turns to the lady and greets her. The main character wonders if it is Cal and claims that she would contact him herself, if necessary. The guy then apologizes and says he wants to talk about the magic video recovery tool. The girl asks if it's really like that, and if there are problems with it, and her interlocutor replies that he can't answer. The client asked about it and wondered if everything would be ready by tomorrow. The lady replies that she also has a schedule, and her interlocutor claims that this customer will give the lady another 5 gold. The main character immediately happily says that as soon as everything is subordinated, she will immediately send him to the transfer zone. Her interlocutor claims that everything is as expected from Miss Schunebaron, and then he asks her to do it. The main character replies that yes, and suggests that he trust her for growth. The girl thinks it's good that she has a part-time job. People decided to become a civil servant for financial independence. Well, she can't take care of family matters with just her salary and pension, so she created an alter ego for herself called Shunibaren, an underground repairman who repairs the magical tools of the criminal world. To hide her identity, the girl took the pseudonym Shunibaren, and this was the name of the cookie. It is interesting that the magic system there is similar to the programming that she studied in her past life, and it helped her a lot. Thanks to this, she became famous for her skills and has many orders. 5 gold is a huge amount on top, so things will have to be fixed soon. The girl understands that at the moment she needs to work on the structure of voice transmission, and when she was just programming it, it seemed like it crackled a little. After which, the girl finds this thing and understands that it is then worth starting to fix it. But at that very moment, someone enters the room and addresses Sharena. The main character immediately hides the magic instrument in her bag. The girl asks if Hazel's sister has come, to which her interlocutor replies that yes. She also asks if the girl has returned and how she is enjoying her first day at the academy. The main character replies that everything was great, after which her interlocutor asks how the fencing lesson went and whether the lady had fun. The main character answers in her mind that yes, but she understands that she did not know how to escape. Now she answers that everything is fine. Hazel wonders if the girl knows that the prince is also learning fencing, so they must have met, and she wonders if she looked at him closely. The main character realizes that she said that everything was fine, but that must have been her original purpose for the conversation. Hazel wonders if they talk, to which the girl replies that yes. And when her interlocutor asks if he is handsome, the main character again replies that he is. The brunette asks if he has a good character, to which the girl replies that he certainly does. Her interlocutor asks what this means, and the main character replies that everything is fine. And perhaps she didn't express herself that way, to which her interlocutor says that she seems to have done the same. The girl is also interested in whether her friend heard that at dinner. Before fencing, the children were really good. She also wonders if the lady has heard rumors, because they say that among the first-year students in the fencing department, there is an idiot student. They say that she went to the toilet during class and didn't come back, so she must be very constipated, and she hopes that it's not Sharena. The main character in shock asks what she is talking about and understands that this cannot be believed because she did not catch up. She was supposed to meet with the crown prince. The guy hits the table at the same moment. His interlocutor says that this is quite unexpected. He also wonders if the neighbor can just stop being angry and go to sleep. His interlocutor asks how one can fall asleep in such a mood. And this is all because of no. But his neighbor says that really, for Haley not to be able to sleep is pretty weird. After which, the young man even wonders what kind of girl this is. The next day, the students are sitting at lunch. One of them says that she is too lazy to go to classes after lunch, and the other one says that she is too. Her interlocutor says that the lady can relax at home if she wants to rest after lunch. And then she says that, nevertheless, the food was really tasty, and she asks Hestia if it is true about her brother. Well, when a girl doesn't see her friend near her, she asks where she went, and didn't they go together? The other girl replies that Sharena. She said that she was going to go somewhere, and maybe the lady followed her. One of them says that even if they are childhood friends, why is Hestia so hung up on this girl? Because she likes fencing and she thinks it's pretty weird. The other Lydia replies that if the girl gets to know her, she'll understand that she's good. A little while ago, the boys asked Hestia what type she liked. Well, the girl replied that her ideal type is a person similar to Sharena. That's what she said. And maybe there is a hidden charm in this girl, to which her interlocutor replies that she wouldn't say so. And Hestia is also odd. The girl is in the bushes at this time and drinks her drink. She also asks Sharena how long they have been there because her leg already hurts. The main character replies that if that's the case, then who should she not follow her? When the girl wants to ask what her friend is doing, then the main character closes her mouth. At the same moment, someone walking along the road screams at the redhead. He says that he saw her, so let the girl come out and not hide. The guy also asks how long she's going to hide, and also let her immediately come out and show herself. At the same moment, he turns to the people passing by and asks if they have seen the ugly red-haired girl. Hestia turns to Sharena and asks why the crown prince is pursuing her. At this time, the main character remembers how she imprisoned the prince and understands that this is an insult to a member of the royal family. But now, the lady only claims that the prince is blowing a mountain out of a molehill. The lady understands that this is dragging us to death, but her friend will not believe her if she tells. The main character tells Hestia that her future husband candidate is haunting her. Her interlocutor asks what kind of nonsense the girl is talking about. Well, at that very moment, the boy uses a stick to knock away one of the stones that flies right past the main character. The young man says that if the girl doesn't come out, he will kill her, after which he starts throwing stones in different directions. The guy asks if she's not coming out and wonders where she's hiding. The main character understands that this can make you go crazy, and he behaves as in the original. At that moment, one of the stones bounces off the tree and hits Hestia on the head. The girl lets out a muffled scream. The prince at this time says that she is caught and screams at the redhead that it is all over, so let her come out right now. The main character turns to Hestia and says that she is finished, but they will meet again someday. At the same moment, the girl rises, which surprises Sharena a little. Hestia wonders what it was, and the main character thinks how she can hate the one who saves her life. The prince is a little surprised at this time and says that the girl is not a redhead. Well, at that very moment, his interlocutor asks why he was surprised and why he throws stones at people. The young man is outraged by this and replies that he didn't think there was anyone there, after which he asks for forgiveness, and also wonders if the lady got hurt. The girl replies that everything is fine, but the prince wonders why she was sitting in the bushes. The lady at the same moment states that she will probably go, but the young man asks her to wait. But Hestia doesn't listen to him, after which the guy turns to the miss again, but realizes that she didn't even tell him her name. At this time, the main character sits in the bushes and thinks about what kind of atmosphere this is, after which she wonders if this was really the first meeting of the main characters. But isn't that how it happened in the original? The young man waddles the bottle that the girl left behind and picks it up. He says that the lady cried so innocently, so how can he forget the beautiful shimmer of her pink hair? Her tears broke his callousness and heart. The main character covers her ears and understands that this cannot be, after which she begins to wonder why he is doing this. At this time, the young man claims that he is experiencing something like this for the first time, and his heart cannot withstand all these raging feelings. If you are lucky enough to meet her next time, he will definitely make a smile shine on her beautiful face instead of tears. Sharena, at this time in her thoughts, asks him to stop, because she is all from cringe twists, and she will plunge into eternal sleep. At the same moment, something near the lady makes a sound that everything is recorded. The main character is shocked and thinks what it is, and that it is a thing in her pocket. The lady realizes that the voice message has been recorded. The girl remembers how she recently said that she still needs to work on the voice playback functions. She doesn't have time, so she'll have to fix it as soon as she can. People know she brought it, but they don't know when the instrument started recording. It should be set up so it works on click at any time. Well, at that very moment, someone else climbs into the bushes and addresses the redhead. He screams out what the girl just wrote down. The main character immediately answers, puzzled that this can't be, and then says that it's time for her to go. A little while later, the girl, already out of breath, returns to the room. The lady thinks how something like this could have happened at such an inopportune moment. The girl thinks that if he is so angry that he kicks her out of school, well, then the main character understands that she now has something with which she can blackmail him, and she is now in the black. A little while later, the lady is already making this recording about her neighbor who just got out of the shower. Hearing this, he immediately starts laughing and asks if this is some kind of joke, after which she even asks who it is, and the main character replies that it is just an acquaintance. The girl understands that this is the prince that her sister is after Hazel is already having a blast. The girl at this time says that if her neighbor does not want rumors to spread, then she should turn it off. Otherwise, this recording will become a school legend. The main character smirks and replies that it is for sure. The lady realizes that she is really looking forward to the next fencing lesson. A little while later, the girl says that so much time has passed, and she will go one. Sharena also says that they will see each other in the evening, and wishes her friend good luck in class. After which, she runs away, once again, wishing everyone good luck. One of Hestia's friends wonders what happened, because the lady was so sad, and now she is full of energy. Another girl asks if it is not nice. And Hestia? She replies that no, because Sharena is the same as they saw her just now, and she was worried, but now she is glad that the girl is okay. The main character at this time confidently heads to a fencing lesson, after which she approaches the prince and says that she wishes him luck in a one-on-one sparring match. The young man just looks at her menacingly, after which the main character has a smirk on her face. She turns to Prince Haley and asks if something is bothering him. The guy asks what she's talking about, and the main character replies that her feelings are raging and it is hardly possible to cope with them. Said yesterday that he was experiencing something like this for the first time, and his heart couldn't take it. Now the lady claims that this is one of the signs of heart disease, so it is better to get checked by a doctor. The young man at this time asks what she wants, and the main character is interested in whether he really wants to know what she needs. The girl understands the state perfectly well, because he is open to negotiations, but she cannot just eat dessert and needs to pay him back for the bullying. After which, the lady says that he misunderstood her, because she simply said that her heart was not in order. The girl also includes a recording of how he asked if he was also interesting, and the lady came to the fencing department because of him. But she is the same as the other girls. The young man immediately snatches the stone from her hands and screams, "When did she manage to write this down?" After which, the guy completely crushes the stone, and the main character smiles. After which, she takes out another stone and asks the crown prince what she should do with it. After all, she must have accidentally made a lot of copies. The prince immediately claims that it is vile to use people's weaknesses against them. He also asks what the lady wants, and the main character replies that when she becomes a knight, She will serve Haley faithfully and truly. So what? The guy pleases that he swears that he really hates her. And the lady says that it's good. Well, let him stop being angry, and she will tell him. To be honest, she has something that she wants, and the lady is interested in how he thinks he needs to do to achieve success. Her interlocutor replies that this is a stupid question, and of course, a lot of hard work is needed. Luck and talent alone are not enough. Sharena. He replies that this is expected but wrong, because the guy doesn't know life at all. The young man asks what is needed then, and the main character answers that what is needed for success is 1% talent and 99% influence. Haley asks in surprise what she is talking about, and the lady replies that there have been no new faces in the First Imperial Order of Knights for a long time. In other words, this is a place for ossified old men who don't like change. They expel anyone they consider objectionable without any possibility of influencing the course of the exam. The young man replies that it is quite problematic, but when he wants to say something else, the lady tells him to become her insurance. How else to say it? She wants him to do everything possible to make the exam fair so that he doesn't misunderstand her. Her interlocutor asks if the lady understands that by throwing around such words, she must be confident in her skills. The girl replies that even if there aren't enough of them, now by the time she finishes school, there will be more than enough. The prince thinks how self-confident she is, and the main character just smirks, after which the guy replies that they agreed. In return, let her remember to break all the crystals. The lady replies that of course, and let him not worry. The guy then says that he has one condition and asks if he can say it. Sharena asks what this condition is. The young man replies that he wants to get closer to her friend and hopes that the lady will help. To which the girl replies that there is no reason. The prince cries out why. And the girl replies that then he will have two conditions, but that will not do. Then the guy claims that he will help her train so that she can get into the First Order of Knights. Sharena replies that it's okay, and she will introduce him, after which the young man cries out that it's good, and then they can start training right now. At this time, the prince's neighbor is walking down the corridor, and while reading a book, realizes that he was like the hero of a new magic book. After which he finds this person and realizes that there is no photo, and the interview was not conducted directly. It looks like he works underground, and it won't be easy to reveal his true identity. Too bad, but I'll have to rent it and think about ordering. Well, when the guy turns the corner, he sees a group of girls walking down the corridor. One of them is Hestia, and the young man thinks what is going on, because he can't take his eyes off this lady. At the same moment, someone else approaches the girl and asks if she read his letter, because he waited a long time for an answer, but never received one. And so he decided to ask. Hestia apologizes, and the guy says that everything is fine, and there is no need to apologize. After all, she could have forgotten, but the lady replies that she didn't answer. She didn't know how to refuse him. Afterwards, he feels completely awkward, and the lady smiles. The prince's neighbor understands that, despite appearances, this girl is quite straightforward. Her interlocutor at this time wonders if he is not her type. The lady replies that yes, her ideal type is a person similar to Sharena. The blonde wonders if she is talking about Shushu A. A little while later, the teacher gives a lecture and explains why the color black is in the Empire of Displacement. It can be said that it was the color of the dragon that contributed most to the founding of the country. This evidence can easily be found in the field of art and music. Hestia is almost asleep at this time, and the main character is drawing in a book. The girls understand that after solving the problem with the prince, the morning lesson goes very nicely. Well, she thinks that Haley is very different from her book image. He fell in love with Hestia Spurbank New, looked just like in the novel, huh? But weren't they supposed to meet for the first time after finishing their junior year? And the girl wonders if it all happened too soon. Apparently, Haley was still normal as a child, and this sounds plausible. But at that very moment, someone gives the lady a flick on the forehead. It turns out that the teacher and the man are wondering what to regret, and are so lost in thought that she doesn't even take notes. The main character apologizes and claims that she will definitely take notes tomorrow. The teacher asks if she is familiar with the proverb, "Don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today." The main character understands that there are many students who also don't pay attention to the lesson, so why did he pick on her only? The man claims that if the lady still got good grades, he would turn a blind eye to it. But the main character, I think the teacher told me that he had problems with excellent students because of complexes, and he finished his studies late after 15 years. Well, at that very moment, the bell rings for recess, and the main character grabs her friend and screams to the teacher that they will see each other later. The lady runs with magical acceleration and tells Hestia that today's lunch menu is delicious, so they need to run. At the same moment, the girl says that she can't run anymore, and the main department says that everything is fine, so they can go slowly. Well, at that very moment, someone else turns to the redhead and tells her to wait. It turns out to be Prince Haley. The girl asks what happened. The young man replies that they need to talk a little, after which he tells Hestia that he will borrow her friend for a minute. The girl is indignant after this, and he wonders if he really wants to talk to Sharena, but not to her. The guy only gets embarrassed and is about to answer that he doesn't. But at that very moment, he turns away and replies that yes, and the main character thinks what a fool he is because he missed the opportunity to spend time with the lady. The girl then turns around and says that it's okay to continue. Let them talk? Okay, the games don't turn to the prince and says that it's not cool. Well, he asks the son, is she really kidding? Watching Hestia leave, the guy realizes that she is beautiful even from behind. The main character thinks that looking at this from the outside, it immediately becomes clear that this is psychosis. She also tells the crown prince to pull himself together and say at least something, after which the guy says that it is true and asks what the hell the girl did yesterday at the sparring. Sharena asks what it is about the sparring was like a sparring in, but her interlocutor asks what kind of magic she used because it's quite rude. The girl suggests that he not say that because she only increased the strength and speed of her weapon and weakened his wooden sword a little more. And the guy screams that she did it on purpose, and he sees how she wants to laugh because her lips are trembling. The lady replies that it seems to him, after which the guy just turns around and says that he wanted to help her with fencing practice, but she acted so meanly, and if this continues... Well, at that very moment, the lady approaches him, which surprises the guy, and he cries out what she wants. The lady replies that, firstly, isn't it too frivolous to consider an opponent weaker than oneself? He understands what awaits a knight in a real battle, and despite the fact that this was training, she treated this battle as a real fight. The prince doesn't even know what she's answering, and the main character, grinning, understands that everything is going according to plan. The young man replies that he actually assumed something like that. Well, since she is so evil and mean, she would certainly use magic, and that is why he also prepared. The main character thinks how dare he say such a thing, and the guy after this claims that, nevertheless, he really was arrogant because he had already encountered magic in battle. Well, it was the first time he had seen something like that. The lady was unpredictable, and it was difficult for him to resist it. The main character understands that it is probably not easy to admit defeat for the first time. It reminds me of her past life and how she consoled her younger brother who failed the test. The lady was going to make fun of the prince for a long time, but the guy is so pathetic, after which the girl tells him not to be discouraged, because it's not that his skills are bad. She thinks that he is a really great guy, and that there are many talented people in the world. Well, it's rare that a person can admit the meanness of an opponent and his defeat. The young man then smiles and asks if this is serious, and if it's not surprising, after which the lady turns to the prince and says that she is definitely behind the other swordsmen in strength and endurance, so she asks him to help her get through this, and she will also help him overcome this path, and will also do everything possible to help him too, which the young man replies that it is good and offers to provide it to him, after which the main character says that they will see each other at daytime classes, and she goes to lunch. But the young man asks her to wait a second, and says that a lot of time has passed, and all the food is most likely sold out, so they can eat together with his chef. After which the young man tells her to hurry up, and they can go. And Letty understands that if we are talking about the prince, the table will probably be covered with all sorts of goodies, and maybe she was wrong to fantasize. After which the girl thinks that she wonders if she will always be able to get along so well with magic. The next day, the young man hands the lady a list and says that this is a muscle development program, especially for her. Who would have thought that he would be so inspired? The main character reading this list understands that point 1 is 1,000 push-ups, 2 is 5,000 squats, 3 is 2,000 jumps back, and the 4th is 2,000 jumps up. The main character furiously squeezes this list and wonders if squats and push-ups will really happen on the same day. The girl asks if this is a plan that people can actually follow, and the boy replies that he followed this workout plan when he was 9 or 10. He wonders if not everyone does it this way, and the main character replies that it's simple and asks if she needs to repeat all this after him. The girl also says that if he doesn't like her, then he should just say so, because how the hell could an ordinary person like her do something like that? Haley excitedly asks if such a trivial program is too exhausting for her, after which he screams out that 200 blows, with fists enhanced by magic, from a burn are only 200 blows, and let her be relaxed. Anticipate the attack of the ball and hit 200 times. The main character replies that it is so wonderful and wonders if it is not easier to awaken your instincts and dodge from a hidden blow. Well, the young man replies that it seems she is just lazy, to which the lady replies that this is not so, after which he even suggested testing the lady's sincerity during sparring, and also tells the girl to pick up her wooden sword. The lady's neighbor is doing exercises at this time, after which she completely lowers her legs and says that she can't do it anymore. She'll have to ask Sharena to give her simpler exercises. Well then, the girl wonders when she will return, because it is already late at night. At the same moment, the main character opens the door and looks like she is about to fall into eternal sleep. The girl claims that she got there, and the lady neighbor says that she looks so tired, and then asks to help her. Sharena replies that she is fine. Well, when she wants to finish, she immediately falls to the floor. A little while later, the lady neighbor is already drying her hair. The main character thanks the girl and says that she will tell now, but her interlocutor asks what else the girl is going to do when her muscles hurt so much that she can barely walk. When Sharena wants to tell something else, her interlocutor asks sweet Sharena if she thinks that if it hurts even more, she will finally shut up and stop twitching. And her neighbor also asks if the girl was injured again, after which she even offers to give her hands. She also wonders what's wrong with the lady's hands, and it's all because of training, and the main character realizes that this girl has been taking care of her for several days. The cursed prince continued to increase the intensity of her training, and it was so hard that she immediately passed out without even taking a shower. At this time, her neighbor dragged the girl into the bathroom and insisted that they had water, so she should at least wash herself. The lady is also interested in how she maintained her image every time she took care of it. Her interlocutor at this time is wondering if the crown prince is not overdoing it. But we can't let this continue because he doesn't know when to stop. The main character thinks that they are barely acquainted, but Hazel does so much for her, and she is so kind. At this time, the girl says that now that her interlocutor has taken the medicine, she can make several face masks. While the main character replies that it is not necessary even if she does not make them, but her neighbor claims that she did say that she loved doing it. A little while later, Hazel is already asleep. The main character realizes that after the conversation, she immediately fell asleep and had already had enough sleep. The girl also thanks Hazel in her thoughts and understands that, thanks to her, she feels better and her skin even glows. Perhaps her greatest success after entering the academy was meeting a neighbor like Hazel, after which the lady turns around, but at the same moment, someone knocks on the door. The main character realizes that she is so tired that she does not have the strength to get up and open the door. She also wonders who could have come at such an hour, but at that very moment, someone appears behind the lady and addresses her. The main character is scared by this, but when she turns around, she sees Hestia. Sharena wonders what she is doing there at such a time, and the girl scared her so much. At this time, her interlocutor just climbs under the blanket, and the main character wonders what the girl is doing and whether something really happened. Hestia. She replies that nothing and that she just had a nightmare, so she was very scared. Sharena asks if this is really so, and the lady replies that yes, and she dreamed of Sharena. Well, this was not the Sharena she knows, and the girl laughed surrounded by other people. And when she called her, the lady did not answer her and did not even look in her direction. Now Hestia says that without her, she was very lonely. The main character turns to her friend, a little sadly, and she understands that, if you think about it, she was busy training, so she didn't pay attention to Hestia. But it must have been difficult for her to be alone in a new place. Hestia is in this house, hugging her friend, and saying that she is afraid of growing up. She wants to fool around with her for the rest of her life, but that won't happen. After which she keeps apologizing to Sharenas, and she says that even though she looks immature, she asks her friend to wait, and then she will become better. The main character suggests that she not worry and just sleep because everything will be fine. The girl understands that Hestia is too worried, and tomorrow she will need to relax. The next day, the main character shows off bicep curls and tricep curls. The girl gets into a funny pose, and the people around her just watch this with a smile on their faces. Some of them even say that the girl is crazy. Hestia smiles at this time and wonders what Sharena is doing. The main character realizes that thank God the girl is smiling again, after which she says that she shows the results of her hard work on physical training. She also asks her friend if she thinks she has gained a little muscle, to which her interlocutor replies that she seems to have. She also says that they did not go to the gymnasium this morning and wonders how long the girl will stay there, but she said that she will have to train a lot. Sharena replies that everything is fine, and sometimes you need to rest. The lady realizes that she has come up with a new way to take revenge on the crown prince, and she will ask him to block 100 attacks with a gravity-weighted wooden ball. Hestia, at this time, turns to her friend and tells her to wait because she needs to change, and the lunch break is already over. The main character replies that she definitely should, and it's time to go. Well then, he tells the lady to wait a little longer and hands her the gift. Her friend immediately happily asks if this is really grape ice cream, but she said that she really wanted to eat it. She also asks why it was necessary to spend so much money, because it is not worth it. But the main character replies that it is really expensive, because she is overstating the price. So she made it herself from grape juice and put it in an ice pack. Her interlocutor claims that it is so cool that she made it herself, and this ice cream is very tasty. Sharena replies that this is good and wishes the lady a bon appetit, and also says that then they will see each other later at dinner. When she leaves, Hestia looks at the ice cream a little sadly and understands that the lady really only looks forward and moves towards the goal. The girl also thinks, what if she is left behind, and what should she do then? A little while later, the main character changes into her uniform and realizes that she is ready. Then the lady looks in the mirror and realizes that she was trying to joke to cheer up Hestia mood, but the girl wonders whether she is imagining things or whether her physical form has really improved. This guy's methods are annoying, but they are more effective than independent training. The girl understands that one way or another, since he was so kind to her, she will carefully use magic during today's training. A little while later, the lady is already sitting on the bench and realizes that there is not a soul there, after which she begins to wonder whether she has come too early. At that very moment, the girl sees 3 boys walking and realizes that here is the traffic light trio. One of them at this time says that they are the only ones there, and he did what he wanted. Another guy asks what, and the young man replies that he learned about it yesterday in a magic lesson, and that it is that air enhances fire magic, and it is inside them. He means that it's a fart, after which all 3 start from 8 yacht, and the main character wonders if he's really in elementary school. One of them at this time screams offering to do it right now, and the other claims that he knows how to use fire magic. The boy with yellow hair tells them to let him be in charge and also to prepare. The main character is shocked and thinks what they are talking about and whether they really want to do this, after which they do so, and the girl watches this with disgust. The lady realizes that she better pretend that she is not there. Well, at the same moment when she turns around, she sees the prince next to her. The young man, holding a video recording in his hands, asks if she has ever looked at him with the same expression on her face. The main character wonders if he means his dark history, after which she thinks that of course he does. The young man says that he is nevertheless glad that the lady deleted the post as promised. But at that very moment, the main character just looks away, after which the young man cries out, "Did the redhead really not do this?" Sharena just throws up her hands and asks how she could not fulfill her promise, after which the guy starts chasing the lady and screams that today will be her end. A little while later, the guy washes his face and sighs, after which he lifts his t-shirt, and looking at the bruises, he realizes that the lady really did amaze him, in spite of everything. A little while ago, the girl claimed that if she couldn't hold on to gravity magic, her training would lose all meaning. The lady also hit him and asked if the guy was really moving so slowly, and how could he not dodge such simple magical attacks. The young man understands that he hasn't been beaten like that for a long time, and it's unpleasant to admit, but her magical abilities are definitely excellent. It would have been better if she had gone to the Faculty of Magic, and the guy thinks why she came to the Faculty of Fencing and worries him. He also recalls how the girl claimed that this meant she should become a knight, and this would provide her with a comfortable life housing and a good pension. The guy understands that this girl is very strange, and it's easier to close his eyes to all this. Still, it was his fault that she took the sword away back then. At that point, he had already made a mistake and wanted to touch her. Well, then the young man understands that he cannot fix what happened, and he has no other choice but to continue training. Magic control is unique, so it is useful to learn the various countermeasures. He also remembers the lady saying that Haley was improving so fast. He must have been thinking about how to handle this move all day long. The guy understands that the lady is praising him, as if she is mocking him, and he thinks that everything is fine with the practice of duels. Well, sometimes it seems to him that the ladies treat him like a younger brother, and it's just his imagination. After which the young man smiles and realizes that this is strange, because this does not irritate him at all. At that moment, the neighbor turns to the crown prince and says that he heard that on that rainy day, he was all covered in mud. So why is he smiling? Oh, the guy at this point realizes that he wasn't alone and says it doesn't matter. His neighbor says okay, after which he eats his chips. The guy looking at the mess around him understands that this young man is again lazing around and hasn't even cleaned up. Although he is the eldest son of the writer de Boas, his behavior is simply disgusting, and if you think about it, he hates Corey more than the redhead. At the same moment, the guy turns to Haley and asks if he by any chance knows Shusha. The young man wonders if this is Sharena's nickname, although he has never heard of it, after which the guy replies that no. His interlocutor says that he understood, after which everyone wishes him good night. But the prince only menacingly turns to Corey de Boas and offers to clean up this candy trash. His interlocutor only looks at him tiredly. A little while later, the main character tells Hestia to act. After all she has to do is write her name there. The girl then turns to Shush, a little puzzled, and she apologizes but says that the Magic Control Club is not for her, because she understands magic very poorly. Sharena replies that this cannot be about her interlocutor, that she heard that you can open a club with just 2 members. Her interlocutor replies that you, again, as long as you have a track record, you can continue to maintain it after opening. Sharena understands that if the productivity is high, they will get a lot of money. Her interlocutor at this time claims that she is sorry, but she cannot help her. She is in the gardening club, so she goes and actually apologizes to the lady. Sharena replies that everything is fine and tells her not to worry because she will see her later. The girl thinks that she needs to find another club member, but when she looks into the classroom, she realizes that there is no one there. At that moment, someone enters the room and asks if Shushu is there. The main character turns to this guy and asks what he wants. The young man asks the question again, and then he even wonders whether he should look at the fencing department. The girl wonders if he is really looking for her and why he needs her. This guy has an aggressive look, and it is a little scary. Well, he is quite handsome, and if she had met him earlier, she would have probably remembered him. Sharena replies that Shushu is not in the fencing faculty, and the guy asks where she is then. But the girl tells him to first tell who he is and why he needs Shushu. The lady understands that she was going to keep silent, but he needs Spar from her. The guy then starts rummaging in his pocket and takes out a lollipop chups. The main character looks at this in surprise, after which the young man opens the candy and puts it in his mouth, and says that he is just curious about what Shushu looks like. The main character wonders if he is serious, after which the guy even says that he is leaving. And since they are already familiar, the stupid girl will convey that Corey de Boas was looking for Shusho. The main character hearing this name understands that this guy is one of the main characters of the novel. He is the son of the writer de Boas, a rising star of the empire. He was one of the main characters in love with Hestia. Compared to other male characters, his passion for the main character seems weak as he is more focused on studying magic. But the truth is that he cared about Hestia more than anyone else. Well, the girl thinks why such a person is looking for her, after which she even tells the guy to wait and claims that in fact, Shushu is her. Corey asks if that's true, and claims he thought it was some guy's nickname. It turns out that this girl and the main character says that her full name is Sharena West. The girl also asks why he was looking for her. Her interlocutor replies that nothing special. After all, he heard that Hestia's ideal type is Shushu, so he was curious to see this person. The main character thinks that Hestia is a fool and wonders why she said something like that. The girl remembers how her friend said that Shushu is the best and she is her only one. She also said that the lady is the coolest, and now the main character understands that, until now, everything was under her control. So why did everything go wrong from the moment she arrived there? Well then, the girl thinks, doesn't this mean that Hestia and Corey have already met? The girl thinks, did they really meet in the library like in the original? As with the prince, everything happened to him much earlier than it should have. The guy at this time claims that he will go, and thanks for the conversation. The girl answers that yes, but thinks that this does not mean that events will gain momentum before graduation from the academies. Well, and then she realizes that now this is not the main issue on the agenda, because she needs to find at least one person to open the club. The girl realizes that Haley is already at the fencing club, and he will most likely suggest sparring every day. Hazel is the leader of the magic club, and the girl realizes that all the people she knows have already joined the clubs, so this seems impossible. The lady also thinks whether she should go to the traffic light boys and force them to join her. Well, then she remembers the fart story and realizes that she hates those memories. At that very moment, the girl has a brilliant idea, and the lady understands that it is Corey who remains. The lady immediately runs after the guy and realizes that in the original story, he was a character who was fluent in magic, so she can't let him go. This is a club related to magic, so if she tries hard, he will definitely join her. When the lady sees him, she understands that she has finally caught up, and the guy could not have gone far. Well, at that very moment, the young man hits one of the guys and his candy falls out of his mouth. His interlocutor immediately screams something it hurts and suggests that the guy watch where he's going. Well, the young man just says that now he won't be able to eat his candy, which makes his interlocutor scared and wonders if this is really Corey Appa. He immediately apologizes and claims that he did not notice him. The main character understands that the expression on this guy's face is frightening, but judging by their previous conversation, he is not scary at all, so she will try to talk to him again. The lady turns to Corey Appa and asks if he is interested in magic. Oi does not answer that it is his specialty and asks what she wants. The main character at the same moment offers to plunge with her into new measures of magic in her magic club. The young man asks if she is talking about the Magic Control Club, to which the girl replies that yes, it is a club, which studies the writing of magic circles, theories, applications, and formulas. Corey replies that something is definitely interesting, and the main character asks if it is true, because it suits him perfectly. But her interlocutor says that he wants to join a club with a lot of people. Sharena cries out that if there are few people, then the classes are free. The guy replies that he just needs a place to spend time, and if he doesn't have enough children, he'll have to work more. The main character says that it will be able to do whatever it wants, because the purpose of the support fund is simply to open it. The young man replies that this is a rather sinister goal, but in any case, he will not get the point. The main character suggests that he think again. Well, her interlocutor answers that he doesn't like it. When the lady asks him again, he again answers no. The teacher notices the two and turns to student Corey and tells him not to bully Sharena. The guy asks what this is about, and she then says that he is not doing anything like that. The main character realizes that he said the same thing when he was misunderstood. Sharena asks if he is often misunderstood because of his heavy gaze. The young man replies that not so often, and the main character asks if he can smile at her. Corey replies that she won't like it, but the girl replies that everything is fine. However, when the young man smiles, the main character is only scared. She understands that people can really misunderstand. Appa again and asks if he really has no friends at all. A little while later, the main character is already in the magic club and realizes that it seems like there is everything necessary there. The lady understands that they have only 2 people in the club and they were given such a room. After all, there are advantages to studying at an elite school. The main character thinks that if they do nothing, the club will be closed, and since that's all she cares about, someone else enters the room at that moment, and the girl asks if Corey Appa has arrived. When she looks at the guy's things, he asks if this is all, to which the young man replies that yes, while the main character looks into the box and asks if it's really just snacks and a blanket. The young man replies that this is enough, and asks if the lady wants sweets, to which she replies that she does, after which the guy says that it's good, because he brought a lot of sweets, so if she wants, she can take it and eat it. And since he has brought all these things now, he can lie down and rest. The main character asks what he is talking about, and the guy just lies down and covers himself with a blanket. The ladies in the ass look at him and understand that he really went to bed. No matter how much she asked him to help with the club, he still thought about sleep. When the girl asked if he had any friends and whether it was difficult for him to establish relationships, she also asked if he was sure he wanted to join a club with a lot of people. After which, the young man took her questionnaire and said that it would be fine if she gave him the questionnaire, and he wrote his name. The main character understands that she succeeded and was able to open a club thanks to her determination. So now is the right time, and the girl thinks that she sees well that the goal has already been achieved, so she will not interfere with him. But at that moment, the lady hears the young man make a sound of admiration. Shirena asks what happened, and the young man replies that he is very well. The main character asks what he is talking about, after which the guy replies that the club events will be held every 2 days. They will be able to catch classes earlier, which means they will be free all this time. To be able to rest in such comfort is a great success, and the main character wonders if he is very happy, but his facial expression is frightening. The girl claims that she is glad that he likes her, but she wonders if the guy should practice smiling normally. At this time, the young man turns to Shushu, after which he gets up from the bed and tells her not to address him so respectfully. Can't they talk informally as friends? The main character realizes that the difference in their social status is so great that she could be punished for the slightest mistake, so why should she do that? The girl replies that it's good, and even though it's a bit too much, well, she's sorry that she treated Coriappa like that. When the lady wants to say something else, the guy just throws a cookie in her mouth and tells the lady to stop. Shirena pulls the thing out of her mouth and wonders if it is a cookie, after which she turns to Coriappa again. But at the same moment, the guy throws a few more sweets into her mouth, which surprises the girl. Shirena realizes that he will feed her sweets until she simply calls him Cory. After all, he is one of the main characters in the novel, and he is a complete loser. A little while later, the girl is in a music lesson. The lady understands that she is so bored, and what could be worse than a music lesson? She doesn't even sing, she just opens her mouth. The girl thinks that it would be better to do club activities, and she and Cory get along well, so spending time together is really fun. The lady also pays attention to her friend's voice and understands that she has a good one. At that same moment, the girl sees someone else entering the classroom and wonders if these two are already there and waiting for her up. The girl turns to the teacher in her thoughts and claims that the boys are waiting for her, but it's almost the end of the lesson, so she can finish it here. Well, at that very moment, the teacher turns to Shirena. The girl asks what is going on, and the woman wonders what she told her before, because she has the feeling that the lady simply opens her mouth and does not sing. The main character understands that she was caught, but claims that this is not so, because the lady misunderstood. Then the woman says that she doesn't need to practice anymore, and let the girl open page 94 and sing the song that is there. Shirena thinks how she noticed, after which the woman claims that they will not finish the lesson until Shirena finishes singing. So let her start for these. The main character understands that everyone is looking at her and seems to be telling her to start faster. The lady thinks that nothing can be done, and there is only one reason why she hates music lessons: Hestia. She said that her singing voice was great, but in reality, she just has a terrible voice. The main character also pays attention to the guys who are waiting for her outside and smiling, and also understands that she sings like a drunkard at karaoke. Well, then the lady thinks that it doesn't matter, because let her listen as much as she wants. At that moment, everyone starts laughing, and the lady realizes that she left a dark spot on Shirena West's life path. When the lady finishes, someone screams in the States, "Good job," and she's the best. Since the last music lesson during classes and during breaks, everyone looks at her with a smile. And even during fencing, the prince squats with laughter. The main character understands that not only people in her class, but even strangers laugh at the sight of her. Luckily, her friends became a source of life force during these annoying school days, so the girl thinks why the teacher made her sing at such an untimely time. She also thinks whether the situation will change in a few days, and the lady will forgive, so that this time will fly faster. At least she can get distracted during club activities. Well, when a girl comes into the room, then he sees a guy wrapped in a blanket and understands that he is already there, but does not understand why he wrapped himself in a blanket. Shirena greets Coriappa well when the guy doesn't answer. The lady wonders if he's sleeping. The girl also pays attention to the table and sees some note. There are apologies written there, and the guy claims that he went to bed and therefore wishes you a bon appetit. Sharena thinks how willful this is, and he prepared all this so that she could have a snack. But when a lady looks at a snack, she thinks that if you take a closer look, isn't all this good for the throat? And should she go crazy with gratitude? At the same moment, the fly stretches the blanket and screams whether Cory de Boas is sleeping. After which, she keeps asking him if he can stand up right now and explain to her what all this means. The young man greets the lady and says, "That's all he thought, it was her throat. Well, when is he going to continue talking about her voice?" He tries to hold back his laughter, and the main character furiously tells him to say it out loud. The young man then apologizes and claims that when he sees the lady, he remembers her song. Sharena understands that because of the music lesson, everything is now ruined. A little while later, the guy hands the lady a candy and then a cookie and tells her to eat more. When he walks down the corridor, he hands the lady some sweets again and says that it is really delicious, so let her try it at least once. A little while later, during recess, the guy also hands the lady some treats and tells her to eat when she's hungry. This is repeated many more times, and a little while later, Hestia asks Shusha, "Why does Cory Appa always treat her with sweets?" The girl replies that after he heard her singing, he laughed until his stomach hurt, and maybe this is how he tries to apologize. Her interlocutor says that today, he is nowhere to be seen. The main character asks the girl if he would like to come all the time. Well, she also asks why she cares about Cory Appa. And didn't the girl stay away from him because he was ugly? Her interlocutor replies that she really thought so, but after noticing how he cares about the lady, she changed her mind. Moreover, he gives her some treats when they meet, and the main character wonders if her friend has missed lunch. At that moment, the guy comes up to them and says that this is where Shushu is. Hestia immediately gets up and turns to Cory Appa. The main character understands that they should probably become closer than in the original story, after which the lady even imagines how the guy will give the lady sweets. A little while later, they find themselves in the magic circle, and Cory says what he thought. The lady has a lot of things, and most of them look like mechanical objects, and not magical mechanisms. He also asks if they should collect magic items, to which the lady replies that yes, they must demonstrate the effectiveness of the club to protect against insolvency. Magic alone is not enough. The guy replies that the club itself is important and will help with anything, let her just say. So Sharena replies that it is good and understands that, having eaten his fill of sweets, he sleeps in comfort, and now he is ready for work and defense. The guy at this time asks what her plan is and what the lady plans to do. Sharena answers that she has not yet fully decided, and first of all, she will tell him everything she knows. The young man asks if she will tell the formula of her magic circle and its reconstruction. It is surprising that she developed it, after which the guy asks how she even thought of it. He knows that magic circles have a lot to do with mathematics, but he still has trouble understanding it. The main character realizes that she used knowledge from her past life, so of course he won't understand. But after a long time spent together, Cory turned out to be a good person. As for magic, he is a talented and humble student. The guy listens to her attentively and is very caring, so it is easy to have a body with him. So the lady wonders if it would be better for Hestia to contact Cory instead of Haley. After which the girl mentally apologizes to Haley, but claims that her vote is given to Cory. After which the main character thinks that she was wrong all this time. The lady turns to Cory Appa and asks if he likes Hestia. The young man wonders why she suddenly asks, and the main character replies that she is just curious. On the day they met, he approached her only because he was curious about what her ideal type looked like. The main character wonders if he came to treat her with sweets every time, because it was an excuse to meet Hestia. The guy answers that there was such a question why, and thinks about it at all. He sits down on the sofa and says that it is strange. It's true that he noticed her from the very beginning, but they never even had a normal conversation, and that's not enough to like someone. If you think about it, he initially noticed her because the girl was his type, and her words aroused his interest. But that's all. The main character asks, what does his type mean? And the guy replies that she has candy, colored hair, and is also cute. Cory also says that she seems to be less afraid of him lately. It's a bit of a pity, because it may be unpleasant, but it's scary a reaction he was used to. The main character thinks that he should decide whether he likes her or not. Maybe he's just trying to avoid an uncomfortable topic, after which the girl understands that she won't insist. At this time, Corey claims that he did not come to her to meet Hestia. The main character is a little surprised by this, and the guy asks if that's all. The girl replies that she asked because she was just curious, and she asks about Hestia there, so she wonders what kind of nonsense he started talking about. Although the lady says that she already knows the answer, because he comes because he has no friends, and she knows it. The young man is even more shocked by this chokes on tea. The guy also asks why he has no friends, and what about the crown prince, the main character with a smirk tells him to sit down, and why he is so excited. The young man is embarrassed by this and tells the girl not to tease people. The main character looks at his expression. With a smile on his face, he understands that this is better for him. Corey asks why she continues to smile, and the main character replies that nothing and thinks that this guy is so cute. A little while later, the lady has another dream about her past. In it, the kids were asking if the girl had brought cheesecake. The lady replied that yes, and mom and dad had promised them, so she suggested waiting for them a little. Someone else asked if they were full after everything they ate in the cafe. The girl claimed that her friends were very, very worried, so she had to go, and besides, he barely ate. The guy replied that the smell of many dishes was terrible, so there was nothing to eat. The girl at the same time furiously asked whether Han Seiyu had done his homework, and if so, let him bring it to her. Well, at that very moment, the lady saw that an unknown number was calling her and wondered who it was. After the girl accepted it, the cake fell out of her hands because she was told that there had been a car accident. Now the lady wakes up in shock and realizes that it was a dream. A little while later, someone asks if Shushu is in pain. Her friend claims that the lady has had a bad face since the morning and hasn't had lunch. The main character replies that everything is fine and thinks that it's because of insomnia. Hestia asks if the lady has insomnia and something is bothering her, but the main character replies that no. The girl realizes that lately her dreams from her past life have become brighter and brighter. Although it has become easier to receive information about the novel, since she can clearly see the text and can even read it. But the problem is that even the bad dreams have become more vivid, so much so that it brings her pain as if it were real. The lady can't do anything in this mood and thinks how to get rid of it. At the same time, someone greets the young lady, and Hestia stands up, bows, and greets the crown prince, Appa. The guy shyly says that there is no need to bow so low, and since they are classmates and also alone, there is no need for formalities. The main character looks at the guy and thinks, why he doesn't talk to her like that? Is he still the same crown prince? After which the girl waves to him and asks if he doesn't see her. Well, the guy just says hi to her. At that moment, he starts laughing, which surprises the two ladies. The prince apologizes, and he claims that when he looks at her, he thinks that the music lesson will start soon. The main character thinks what he is going after, which he thinks that he should forget. After all, he will be the scapegoat and will be responsible for her bad mood. They will look at him at fencing lessons. A little while later, the ladies are in a magic circle, and Corey claims that it was worth increasing this circle, and everything became clear. He just needs to highlight this formula, and if he inserts this space into the formula subtracted from the other side, the young man claims that he analyzed it according to her theory, and asks if everything is okay, to which the girl replies, the states are excellent, and suggests trying to combine it in its original size right now. The guy then agrees and says that it needs to be folded and combined with the modified form. Then he succeeds, and the main character says that it's cool because Corey learns so quickly. The young man replies that the lady is much better, and that she is probably the only person in history who has ever thought about rebuilding a magic circle. Thanks to this, he now understands most magic spells, and thanks the lady for being patient with him. The main character replies that everything is fine, because anyone can do it if they know the principle. Well, when the guy looks at her a little suspiciously, the main character asks what happened. Corey says that she has such a talent, after which he asks why she chose fencing. If she had chosen magic, it would have been more interesting to go to magic lessons together. But the girl replies that night wizards earn more than imperial wizards. The young man says that this is so, but as for supporting the club, why is she so concerned about money? Sharena replies that this will provide her with a good future, and the guy asks if this is really the reason. Her family seems to be doing well, and not that far from there. He also wonders if there is another reason why her future might be uncertain. The girl thinks it's funny because no one has ever asked her about it before. Well, she can't just tell him that she knows exactly what awaits her in the future. The lady claims that she is young and does not understand anything about life. So no matter what the current situation is, she cannot hope that it will always be like this. The girl thinks whether it is normal to answer like this, and it is not even a lie. At this time, the guy asks what she's talking about, and he has the feeling that he knew the lady in childhood. The main character replies that she is different from him and understands that she has experienced enough in her past life. In fact, in her past life, she was born into a rich family, and misfortune happened when her parents were plunged into eternal sleep in a car accident. The girl decided to inherit their property, but due to her immaturity, she took on her father's debts. She led a difficult life, taking care of her younger brothers and sisters in a small room in the basement, after which the lady thinks that she has enough vain hopes to live at least one more day, where she constantly fought for every penny. So even if she didn't know her current future, maybe she wouldn't change her attitude. Another thing could happen at any moment, so she doesn't want to live like that again. The lady almost cries and realizes that lately she has been missing her younger brothers and sisters who remained in her past life. It's all because of the dream, because from that very day, she can no longer properly control her emotions. Well, at that very moment, the guy waves his hand in front of her and asks how the lady is. The young man also says that he spoke without thinking and asks for forgiveness. Shrena replies that nothing and understands that she hates to see Corey like this, and she feels so bad. The young man then claims that he thinks it would be better to fly and spend the rest of the day sleeping, after which he wraps her in a blanket and uses magic to transfer her to the bed. Shrena in shock asks what he is doing, but the guy only strokes the lady's head and then says that she can get up when she feels better. The main character is a little surprised by this, after which she closes her eyes completely. And thanks him too. The lady wonders if she imagines it or if the blanket smells sweet. A little while later, someone says that this is great. The magic circle is well drawn again. If she adds her engraving at the end, the main work will be completed. All that's left is to adjust the power. The girl realizes that club activities require more teamwork than she expected, and since this is a gift, it needs to be wrapped. The lady was very grateful for last time, so she wanted to give him something in return, and she hopes that Corey will like it. A little while later, the prince is already angrily belittling himself and wondering if Sharena West thought she could get away with all this so easily. But the girl was upset last time and beat him up any way she could. Now the guy looks at one of the papers and understands that she is taking revenge on her for all her suffering. At this time, Corey turns to Haley and says that it's time to get busy with club activities, after which he asks if he's coming. The guy tells his interlocutor to go to the show first, after which he agrees, but accidentally drops the bag of sweets. Haley asks if he has really started eating more sweets, after which he tells the guy not to overdo it. Corey tells him not to worry because it's not just him. At this time, Haley notices the magazine and wonders if the guy hasn't returned it yet. Corey replies that the magazine belongs to him, and he came to order the article about the person he is interested in turned out to be quite good. The prince wonders if he is talking about the very same one who is famous in the underground, but he does not understand why the guy does not like someone so shady. Corey replies that the crown prince who is not interested in magic will not understand. Haley asks why he is not interested, but then says that she took him. A little while later, the guy moves on and realizes that this man is truly a genius. After all, how could he even think of an ultra-long-range communicator that could communicate with the Far Eastern continent? Anyone who was even slightly interested in magic would want to meet him, after which the guy approaches the doors of the club and realizes that it looks like Shushu has already arrived. The young man opens the door and greets the lady, and the main character tells him to come in. Corey claims that he brought new sweets, and if the lady wants, she can take some and thanks him. The young man also asks if she has almost finished her project, to which the lady replies that she has. And thanks to his help, she was able to finish quickly, so she thanks the guy. The young man says that now that the project is finished, it seems familiar to him. Corey asks if this mountain Agran is near their academy. The main character answers that it is a tavern, but her subsidies are interested in why she made it. Sharena replies that it would take a long time to explain, after which the young man says that it is true, and he heard that the lady will take the fencing exam on this mountain. The main character says that this is true and they will pass a practical test of fighting monsters, but she still wonders how he found out. The guy replies that he and the Faculty of Magic will also be there, and the lady asks if this is true, and if they will see each other in class. The young man with a smile on his face replies that yes, and the main character understands that. Now he smiles much more naturally. At this point, Corey asks about the timing and wonders if this model is related to the practical exam. The lady replies that yes, and it is for a club project. She also says that she explains everything after the exam, and the guy says that it's fine, but let her just not overdo it, because in their days, the monsters are very cruel. Sharena understands that the more she communicates with this guy, the more good he will be to her. And even if he has questions, he never asks too many. She told him not to mess around on the couch, and he outsmarted her and is now floating in the air. The girls are also curious if he knows how tactful he is. Comparing him to the prince would be a real blasphemy, after which Letty remembers something else, and she says that she has a gift for Corey. When the young man looks at it, he wonders if it is an earring. He also asks if today is a special day, and it seems like his birthday is not soon. The main character replies that she wanted to thank him for his care, and this is an artifact that helps control magic. The guy claims that it is difficult to get something like this, but when he looks at the decoration in more detail, then she goes into shock and falls to the floor. The main character asks what is going on, and the boy asks where she bought it. Sharena asks if he is talking about the cube or the earring. Her interlocutor replies that he is talking about the decoration and asks if she bought it. The main character claims that she made it herself, and the young man at that very moment in shock asks what she is talking about, and what does it mean that she did it herself. He asks again if she is the author of this engraving. Sharena answers that yes, but asks what about that. The girl wonders if he really didn't like the engraving, and her interlocutor says, "What does it mean she is Shunibaren?" Sharena wonders how he knew about this name, and a little while later, the lady is already looking at a thematic article about Shubarian and realizes that she didn't think she would get there. The young man at this time says that not quite, and her invention is innovative. The world is full of her fans besides him. The main character realizes that she wore a robe that changes her appearance and tried not to leave any traces. Just think that there are people so obsessed with it that they write articles, and isn't that dangerous? Her real identity at the autograph, and she should be more careful. During this time, he asks if she is really Shunibaren, and the girl thinks that there is nothing to be done because she will have to ask him to keep it a secret. Sharena claims that she is Shunibaren, and only he knows about it, so it's a secret. But at the same moment, the guy tells her to stretch out her hands. When the lady does this, the guy shakes her hands and then screams out what to do because he can't stand it, and he finally met Shunibaren. Sharena, in shock, asks where he ran, and realizes that this is the first time he has seen a guy like this. He must really be a big fan of Shunibaren. At least there won't be any awkwardness between them in the future. The young man at this time returns to the room and apologizes to Shushu, and also asks if he was too harsh. The guy also claims that he went out to calm down a little, and the main character says that it's good, after which she asks if he's better. Now the guy answers that yes, and also adds that he really liked the decoration, after which he thanks the lady. The main character says that it is good, and she is glad that he likes it. Well, at that very moment, red liquid starts coming out of the guy's ear, and the girl screams in shock. Did he really just get his ear pierced? A little while later, the lady with pink hair writes something down. Someone turns to Hestia and says that it's already a break, so is she still studying? The girl immediately closes the book and replies that no, she is just drawing. The main character wonders if this is true and says that, in any case, if she needs help, then let the lady just say Hestia only wonders if her friend is prepared for the test. Sharena just rubs her hands and understands that she is ready to receive her scholarship. But at that very moment, someone turns to Sharena West, asks how she did it, and also can tell her secret. The main character understands that this is the Chatterbox Rose. And what kind of ignorance is this? Because they do not even communicate. So how can a girl ask questions so rudely? The main character asks if she is really talking about how to learn to systematize her points, and it would be fine if she asked Hestia. But what does she have to do with it, because they are not even close? Her interlocutor asks what she is talking about, because she means Corey. The lady got close to this scary guy, and the girl asks what she did to him. The main character thinks what kind of questions these are, and says that the guy only looks repulsive, but in fact, he is very nice. If the girl wants to get to know him, then let her go to him and talk. Her interlocutor asks if the lady really thinks she's an idiot, since she already tried, and he simply ignored her. Sharena claims that there may have been a misunderstanding. Well then, her interlocutor claims that everything is correct, because he looked as if he would plunge her into eternal sleep if she continued to talk to him. Sharena understands that she has probably already gotten used to it and doesn't pay attention, but this girl is unlikely to believe her even if she says so. After which, the main character says that she doesn't know because it's her concern. Then let the lady figure it out herself. Well, at that very moment, the girl screams for her to wait and not care to tell about her secret. She also asks if the girl thinks she can get away with all this just because she's pretty. Sharena only gets angry about this and wonders why this sounds like a description of some little dog. The girl immediately turns to her interlocutor, and when she approaches her, then he asks if she wants to know about this secret. Well, when the lady excitedly asks what it is, the main character just blows into her ear. Her interlocutor immediately screams what the lady is doing and tells her to wait. The main character at this time runs away with her friend and says that she really doesn't mind helping you. But what's the point of being friendly if her knees are weak from fear? And how would Cory like that? Hestia asks if that's true, and Cory Appa is actually quite popular. The main character is shocked and asks if he is popular, and if he isn't avoided out of fear. Her friend claims that at first glance he is scary, but the guy is very handsome, and besides, he has a good family, and his magical abilities are so amazing that he is the best in the class. He was always popular, but at the beginning of the semester, he began to be spoken of as equal to the crown prince. Sharena is shocked and wonders if he is really that popular, and the girl wonders what kind of feeling this is because it's as if she was hit on the head. A little while later, they find themselves on a mountain. The main character is staring at Cory at this time. The girl understands that Cory de Boas is a traitor because he didn't have as many friends as she did, but he was so popular all this time. Despite its frightening appearance, the reason for its popularity is that it is truly beautiful. Well, since he is one of the main characters, it is natural. After which, the lady understands that she should admit it, because she really is jealous of male popularity. Sharena understands that if you think about it as a child, she had short hair, so she was mistaken for a boy and teased. At this time, Cory asks if everything is okay, and why she continues to look at him like that. To tell him something, and the main character replies that no, and she just thought that she would like to be as beautiful as he is. The young man is embarrassed by this, after which everything turns around. He asks the lady not to talk like that. After all, now after her words, he won't be able to look at her calmly. The main character says that for sure, and he is her fan. The lady thinks that the devil is sad about her, because Cory is a big fan of Shunibaran. He is so embarrassed by the praise of his idol, and it is nice, but not enough. The girl asks if he wants her autograph, or how about free hugs, and what he thinks about holding hands. The young man agrees to all of this. The prince at this time watches these two and says, "Wow, this one is practically a toast to the lady, and she is not nervous at all." The main character replies that she is trying to maintain her composure in order to definitely defeat Haley Appa. At the same moment, someone tells the students of the fencing and magic departments to gather there. The main character looks at Haley and realizes that he has already gotten used to her teasing, so teasing him is no longer fun. At the same moment, one of the teachers says that the junior group will undergo trials there at the bottom of the mountain range of Mount Ogren. The subjugation of monsters will be carried out in 3 stages. The first place will be taken by the student who parries the most blows in 30 minutes. The main character understands that finally he will be hers, and she is even interested. The teacher tells the students not to worry, because if they get hurt, they will immediately go to the first aid station. The main character thinks that this is not surprising, and she heard that the combat form is enchanted, so it must be a teleport spell. Haley wonders if there aren't enough people from the magic department, to which his interlocutor replies that at the magic department, this practical test is optional, and many are simply not interested in it. Haley wonders if that means Swanhaden is one of them, and that's why he hasn't seen him. Cory asks what he's talking about, because this guy didn't even enter the academy. The main character thinks about Svanhaden, and Haley claims that he has not forgotten, because Swan went to study abroad in the south of the continent. His interlocutor asks if there is a war there and why he went to study in such a dangerous place. At this time, the girl thinks about the name of this guy and wonders if this is really the one. But this brings back memories of the boy who told everyone to get lost. The girl completely forgot about him in her current life, and she thought that she would never be able to forget him because he was like an angel. Well, these two have also known him since childhood. At this time, Haley says that that's it, and at least the guy won't run into him. And that's even good. Corey says Swan is a third-year senior, and his interlocutor claims that remembering his dirty tricks, he doesn't want to meet this guy. The blonde asks if their prince is scared, too, which he replies that it's fine, and he hopes that he can get along with him, after which he asks if Corey is happy with this answer. Sharena realizes that Haley seems to have mixed feelings about him, after which the guy turns to Sharena. He asks if she knows Svanheden. The main character asks if they talk about her. The prince says that he simply heard that Blanche's family and her family communicate. The main character replies that their families communicate because of their common business. So it doesn't apply to her. The girl thinks that they really saw each other often. Well, that doesn't mean they're close, and that's obvious. As a child, Swan would always come with his father. While the adults were busy with work, he preferred to go to the training ground. That's where she ran into him during training, and the guy was cute. But with a cold expression on his face, the child is always dressed strictly and caught with all the buttons on. The exposed parts of the body were in terrible wounds. That's how she remembered him. The girl knows nothing about him at all, and to deprive him of his gaze stuck in her memory. To approach him, but even harder to talk to him, because he simply ignored her when she tried to talk to him. Well, that's why they weren't destined to be friends. Although he at least pretended to listen to Hestia's chatter, after the chip, the main character remembers something. And he understands that in the original, he was unlucky enough to get Hestia's love, even though he was one of the main characters. So he rejected his feelings. The girl thinks that it might be easier to just forget about him, since all the male characters were such crap. But then the lady realizes that this is not entirely true. Just look at Haley and Corey. They are not at all like their prototypes from the novel, and they can be said to be more human. The girl thinks that the novel is probably defective, and the principal at this time asks why the redhead is staring at him and whether she really fell in love. Replies with disgust that she is not only looking at Haley Oppa, after which the lady thinks that she is too young and inexperienced, so she cannot let them charm her. At this time, the teacher states that from this moment, the first practical test begins. Well, after which the students head somewhere from the main character, realizes that they all ran away so quickly. The girl wonders where they rushed headlong, and whether life is really so precious to them. Well, the lady thinks that it's better, because if we're talking about the exam, there's a scholarship and club funding. All this will be hers today. At this time, Corey sees some kind of trace on the ground, and the prince says that a horde of slimes definitely passed there. The main character tells Corey that if she gathers the limes in one place, will he be able to burn them all at once? The guy replies that it's no problem, and then the girl says that she heard that Haley used to hunt monsters, to which the guy replies that it happened. Since that's the case, the lady is interested in whether he could find the slime boss, but just let him not put him into eternal sleep. The young man asks if she really wants to capture him alive, to which the lady replies that she does. After which the guy agrees and says that then they will see each other later. Sharena wishes him luck and tells the guy not to worry, because they will catch a lot of slimes. At this time, Corey turns to Shush and suggests following the trail before they lose it. The lady replies that there is no need because she will lure them there. After which she asks to give her a minute, and the girl creates an illusory magic circle. After which one of the slimes runs towards him, and Corey says that they really did come. After which he screams out that there is a whole crowd of them. The young man wonders how Shushu did this, and whether it is all a magic circle. The girl replies that with the help of the circle, she brought the slimes their favorite smell. Corey wonders how this is possible, and says that the lady is amazing. The main character replies that there is nothing special about it, and since she has learned it, he can certainly handle it. The main character says that it's good, and everything seems to have worked out, after which she says that it's worth hurrying up before they come to their senses and run away. The girl says that now it's Corey's turn and wishes him luck, and the guy tells the lady to trust him, after which she starts using magic and burns all the slimes. The main character looks at the blue flame. She understands that the guy is much stronger than her, and the girl thinks how high the temperature is because she feels the heat even from there. At this point, Corey turns his attention to the lady, after which he changes and asks if it is too hot. He also tells the girl to move away until everything is over, and casts a water shield on her. Sharena understands that Corey is so attentive and thanks him. The guy only smiles in response. And a little while later, he says that everything is ready, and there were so many of them that there were as many as 3 bags. The main character says that she thinks that 10 pieces would be enough for a high score, but they have that many. Well, then, the young man says that they still have 20 minutes left until the end of the exam and asks what they should do. Sharena hands him a ball and says that the boy will find out soon. The young man looks at the ball and wonders what it is and whether the lady really did it. The main character replies that yes, and this ball catches monsters, after which she throws one of the balls at the slimes and says that the guy can use it like that. The young man looks at the slime in the ball and says that it is very cool. Taking another ball in his hands, he says that there is also an engraving of Shunibarin and asks if he can keep it for himself. Sharena. He replies that it's good and he can collect it. The main character understands that the guy is getting nicer and nicer every day, so she thinks that he is still more suitable for Hestia than Haley because he is caring, smart, and capable. The guy asks if she wants to use it for a club project, to which the lady replies that yes, they will catch the monsters and release them onto the model of Mount Ogren that they made. And by studying their behavior, the effectiveness of the club will increase. But when the lady looks at Corey, she asks why he smiles like that, to which the guy replies that he is watching her, and he doesn't even know what he would do without her. The main character wonders if he is saying that he is having fun and that everyone called her stupid. At the same moment, someone else screams at Sharena West. Corey says that it's Haley's voice, and he must have caught the slime boss. When the main character runs up to Haley, she asks if he caught this monster, to which he replies that of course he did. He's a low-level monster, so it was easy. Well, then the guy notices something else and screams for Sharena to freeze, after which he tells her to stand still, and the girl asks if there are really higher-level monsters there. But the young man just points to the lady and claims that he is talking about her. Let her just slowly come there. The main character asks what he is talking about and wonders why Prince Appa is behaving like this. The young man simply points to the lady's hand and asks her why she needs this thing. The main character looks at this ball, and Corey wonders if he is talking about the monster ball and asks what the matter is. Sharena tells him not to worry about it and that she will sort it out now. At this time, Haley says that she did it that time and also complains about him. When the main character looks at the guy, he says that if she was going to use it again, he refuses. But the main character only swings this ball and then throws it towards the prince. The young man closes his eyes in horror, and at the same moment, the ball catches someone. But when the guy opens his eyes, then she sees a ball on the floor with slime. The main character only sighs after that, and she whispers to the guy that, knowing that he is the crown prince, she will not harm him, much less lock him in a ball, because why would she show disrespect to the imperial family? The young man then asks for forgiveness for the misunderstanding and asks why she is smiling. The prince also asks if she recorded it, and the main character replies that of course she did. Haley says that it's good, because he also has something to blackmail her with. The main character in shock asks if he is talking about a music lesson, and the young man replies that he is. But the lady asks if she said that she deleted everything irrevocably, and that he should be more careful with his words. The young man says that she should be more careful then, because they had agreed a long time ago, so let her delete everything. At this time, Corey says that he thought that they couldn't stand each other, but these two get along so well. The main character and Haley immediately scream that this is not so, and the young men watching them squabble say that these two are so friendly. At the same moment, someone shouts that stage 1 is over, and let the students send the collected bags with slides and move on to stage 2. A little while later, they are already sitting with the exam results, and some of them are happy and some are almost crying. At this time, the main character smiles and remembers how someone congratulated her. The man claimed that he had heard that people had received a scholarship for excellent grades on their final exam. Now the lady smiles and understands that it was expected, but it is still nice to receive praise. At that moment, someone turns to Sharena and asks if something good has happened. The girl replies that it's just that the holidays are coming soon, so she'll be able to go home. Her friend claims that she's also looking forward to it, and that they'll finally be back home. At school, they couldn't see each other often, but during the holidays, they will be able to meet every day, and that's great. Hestia also asks Sharena if she will help her pack her things. The protagonist realizes that she would like to wean the girl from relying on her so much. But maybe it's her fault. When they were little, Hestia always turned to Shush with various requests, and the lady understands that this is true because it was not worth telling her about her younger ones from a past life and promising too much, after which the girl tells her friend to listen, and from that moment on, she will have to pack her things on her own. Sharena claims that they are not children anymore, so the girl should not rely only on her, she herself too. Hestia asks what this means, and the main character answers that, in order to achieve what she wants, she must be able to plan her steps independently. When the girl wants to answer something, the main character just says that it's great, and since she understands what she's talking about, then they can start by packing their suitcases themselves. After which, the girl says that she is going to the club, and they will see each other later. Hestia, at this time, asks if she is talking about independent on the wall. What is the use of it? Parents always said that she does not need it. A little while later, the main character is in the club, and Corey says that it looks like the third pair of slimes are going through breeding season. And soon a new group will form, after which the guy asks if this is really a valley. The main character answers that yes, and she only saw it now. The lady realizes that she didn't like Hestia's behavior before. Well, she wonders if she was too harsh. After which the girl realizes that it was necessary because she can't be around Hestia all the time. One day, they will have to go their separate ways because each person has their own path. Corey, noticing Shushu's thoughtfulness, asks if something is wrong. The girl replies that everything is wrong, and she is just summing up. The young man at this time apologizes for making her replant the report, and the main character replies that it's not difficult, and besides, she can't stand aside. The girl also tells Corey to bring her sweets, and the guy does so at that very moment. He also says that the lady has her hands full, so he will feed her, but at that moment he stumbles, after which the cookie flies out of her hands, but the main character jumps at the same moment and catches the cookie with his mouth. The guy says it's cool, and Sharena understands that since they started talking about it, she has done something similar many times. The young man immediately starts throwing cookies and says that she is smart, but then the main character screams at him to stop, because if he continues, they will only waste their time. A little while later, the girl says that everything is ready, and she has finished the project report. Thanks to Corey Appa and Haley Appa, they have collected all the necessary monster samples, so the girl thanks them. Corey says that this is true, and the teacher in charge of the club was not interested in this project, although it turned out to be very valuable. He thinks it would be a good idea to wait for the club rankings next semester. The main character wonders if he's talking about next semester, but she barely managed to persuade Corey to join the club, so the girl turns to the guy. She wonders if he will continue to go to the club next semester. A little while later, someone shouts that the lesson is finally over, and they can go eat quickly. One of them claims that there is meat for lunch today, while Corey is lying on his desk. Haley turns to Corey and tells him to get up. The whole lesson is over, and they can go to lunch. Back at that very moment, and his friend asks if he hasn't had enough sleep yet. The prince lifts Corey up and says that he is too lazy to even eat, and that this is a damn disaster. He wondered who Sharena had taken after recently, and Corey, hearing the name of the girl, said that it was true and asked if there was any club activity today. Haley replies that today is an even number, so yes, after which the guys apologize and claim that he wants to spend the club time usefully and with pleasure. So let him go eat alone, and also offers the guy to take candy. Corey claims that he goes to the club room and says that they will see each other later. And the prince furiously throws these candies and says that he was still waiting for him. When Corey goes further, he wonders since when does Haley worry about him, because before they didn't really get along and they didn't care about the other one. Or not. It seemed to him that this guy couldn't stand communicating with him, and he would never have thought that they would become friends. After which the young man thinks when they became close, and it was probably when the prince asked if he also knew Sharena. After all, isn't she a capricious, scary, and pessimistic girl? The young man then remembered how the lady asked what he would say. After all, this is a new project under the code name. Well, just you wait, Wolf. The girl asked the guy what he thought. Who was right, she or the crown prince? When they were arguing, the girl asked Corey whose side he was on, and now the guy just smiles. And he also understands that this is all thanks to Shushu, but the young man also understands that there are other reasons for this. When he enters the room, he sees a lady lying on the sofa and realizes that she is already there. The lady came straight after class just like him, but when he takes a closer look at the girl, he thinks it's strange because everyone is crazy about Hestia, and here and there they keep repeating how pretty she is. While the guy wonders why he pays more attention to Shusha, he likes to watch the girl sleep. The young man wonders if he has really gotten used to Shushu's face. A little while later, the main character wakes up with many braids on her head. The girl asks what it is, and her interlocutor apologizes and says that her hair fell on her face. That's why he wanted them gone. Corey realizes he shouldn't have touched her in the first place. She looked so cute that just by touching her hair, he couldn't help himself. And when he came to his senses, he had already braided all her hair. It will be funny to see how angry she is because of, but you have to control yourself. After which, the guy apologizes and says that he will dissolve everything. The main character only addresses Corey, and he wonders why she is so scary. Sharena asks if it is because her face is swollen after sleep, and she is disgusting to herself. The young man at this point understands that this is because he has ruined everything and immediately replies that if the girl had not answered, she was just a little swollen and her hair was sticking out. He would have quickly untangled everything. When the guy does this, he says that everything is fine now, and the main character asks if this is true, after which she says that she doesn't think she's gotten any better. The young man looks at her and is only embarrassed, after which everyone says that Shushu is very beautiful now. The main character is a little surprised by this, and then he gets completely embarrassed, but asks why he did this suddenly, because she won't be offended and Corey can be honest with her. The guy asks if it's true, to which the lady replies yes. The girl understands that he is good after all, and if it were Haley in the guy's place, he would have teased her 100 times already. The young man at this time takes something out of his pocket and says that he has something for the lady, well, after which he tells the girl to wait a minute and claims that it is a gift. The main character looks at her ear and says that these orange-shaped earrings are so beautiful. Well, she asks why such a gift because today is not her birthday. The guy replies that this is a return gift for her earring and also an answer to her question. Recently, a lady asked him if he would continue to go to the club next semester, and the guy claims that he wanted to say right away that he would stay, but was worried. And he felt that he needed to back up his words with something, after which he wished the head of the magic club good luck in the future. The main character, looking at his face, is a little embarrassed, and then starts to think why he is like this today. The guy smiles so dazzlingly, and it's almost enough to charm her, and it's dangerous for the heart. The girl thinks that what's more important is, since when did Corey start doing it so naturally? Sharena also wonders if he has fallen ill by chance, after which she thanks Corey. But when she wants to add something else, her stomach starts to rumble, and the guy asks if she really came there without having had lunch. Corey says that there must be something left in the cafeteria and suggests going there. Lady says that he hasn't eaten either, and that 1 meal a day is enough for her. At this time, Corey remembers the prince's words about how he wondered who the girl had become so lazy with lately. And now he understands what the guy meant, after which Corey says no, and they need to go eat right now. When the girl wants to answer that everything is really fine, the guy just lifts her up with the help of magic and says that lunchtime is ending, so they need to run faster. The lady thinks that Corey had a dark and overly caring side, but at that moment, the ladies hear a ringing sound. Sharena wonders if she left him in the room, after which the girl tells Corey to wait, and she claims that she needs to answer the phone, but the guy asks if they should eat first. The girl says that she will be there soon and let him go and get her a sandwich. The young man, in response to this, agrees, only asks her to hurry. And when he leaves, the voice immediately greets Mrs. Shunibaran. The main character turns around to see if anyone is coming and whispers, asking what is going on, because she said she would call if she needed help. The voice apologizes and claims that he sent a message, but the lady did not answer. One high-ranking person wants to meet her, and the guy asks what to answer him. The main character thinks what he is talking about and what kind of high-ranking person he is. A little while later, all the students go home, and the main character wishes her friends a good holiday, and also says that they will meet next semester. Haley says yes and wishes the same to Sharena. He also tells the girl not to forget because she promised to go on a gastronomic tour. Lydia replies that he shouldn't worry because she's already made a menu and will definitely try the strawberry cake at Miss Bakery. The boy says he thinks apple tart is better, and Corey says he likes grape tart. At that moment, Haley says that this time he will definitely win the bet and let the girl get ready. Well, the main character asks if he is sure, and Corey understands that they still have to live until that day, and they are already so tense. At this time, someone turns to the crown prince and claims that the carriage has arrived, after which the guy says that he will go, and they will see each other again. The main character says goodbye to him, and Corey tells Shushu to go too, and he will go later because he still has some things to do. The main character asks if he has any business during the holidays, and the guy replies that, yes, and it's a small meeting, so the lady shouldn't worry. Let her call him if she needs anything during the holidays, to which the girl replies that it's fine, and she'll go so they'll see later. The lady thinks that it is a little sad that everyone has left, but then she wonders if it is normal if she remembers the original. She should have stayed away from Haley and Corey, so the girl wonders if she's gotten too close to them. Well, in any case, the long-awaited holidays have finally arrived, and she needs to figure out how to spend them with pleasure. A little while later, the three boys are heading out in a carriage. Haroon says that the carriage is shaking so much, and asks Shusha if everything is okay. The main character replies that his things threaten to fall on her head, and she asks if he thinks she's okay. The girl asks how he can be so careless. After all, he should have thought about it earlier and sent them by mail like she did. The young man replies that he simply could not have imagined that he would have so much luggage. Well, then he says that Shushu didn't visit him at all this time, but he waited for her every day. The main character replies that if he really wanted to see her, he could have come to her himself. Well, the young man wonders if she even imagines how many times he came, and wonders if the girl was deliberately avoiding him. Sharena replies that this is not so, but Hestia claims that Shushu spoke about it. That Haroon Appa irritates her. The young man asks if that's really true. Well, then he says that his Shushu is still the cutest in the world, and she is also the most charming and beautiful, after which the guy tells his little sister to come to him. The main character only asks what he is talking about and suggests that the guy stay where he is, but he says that it is so unfair. The young man says that very soon the lady will grow up and leave her father's house, and they will no longer be able to hug like this, so they need to enjoy it while they have the opportunities. Sharena claims that even though she doesn't have a boyfriend, he's still the last person on the list of people who can get her hugs. The young man then says that all the people in the world are predators around his precious Shushu. If she has a boyfriend, it will break his heart, and he will fall into an eternal sleep from sadness. But the little brother is already sad and his heart is breaking with pain. The main character understands that her older brother will come again, after which she tells the guy not to worry because she will live alone. The girl thinks Haroon's fears are sincere or a joke, but she will never have a boyfriend. In her past life, no one showed romantic interest in her, and in this life, too, the main role in the novel belongs to Hestia. When the guys approached her, they only asked her to pass on a letter to Hestia, and the girl thinks that something happened when she was 5 years old. That's when it all started. Hestia at this time turns to Haroon Opa and asks if he heard. After all, Shushu doesn't want to flirt with guys and let him not worry. The main character thinks that people should stop because there is no need to say this, and it's all because of her, after all. Haroon says that it's even better this way, and if Shushu doesn't have a boyfriend, they will always be together, and let the girl just imagine how good it will be for them together. The main character thinks that her brother should also stop, because what kind of terrible words are these? Hestia answers Haroon Appa that no, because Shushu will live with her. Well, the young man answers that he will not back down. The main character thinks how tired she is and hopes that they will soon return home. At this time, Corey is heading somewhere and realizes that after the students went home, it became very quiet at school. It's a pity, but he can't stay there for the holidays, after which the boy understands that he needs to go to his class, although he still has time. When he enters the classroom, someone says that Hubei has arrived. It turns out to be the son of the Supreme Lord Lunash, named Evans Lunasha. The guy is in his 3rd year of study. Corey asks if he brought this thing, and his interlocutor only turns to Huba and asks if he is really getting down to business without even saying hello, after which he keeps asking him if he is upset. The young man at this time only sighs with displeasure and pushes the guy's hand away. After which, he even says that since he brought the magic stones, it's worth ending this as soon as possible. His interlocutor in response to this only smiles and says that, as expected, the magic stones were created by Corey. They are truly amazing, and he can't help but be delighted every time he sees them. Corey irritably says that if everything is okay, then he should hurry up. His interlocutor hands the guy some kind of box. He also asks if he knows that the trinkets are Shunibaran, very hard to get, and he barely managed to get it back at auction. Corey says yes, and he's a good guy. His interlocutor says that hearing a compliment from Hube is the greatest joy for him, and his heart is pounding in his chest from excitement. But the guy only says that he is going. At the same moment, Evans claims that there is something else and asks if the guy will listen to him. The young man wonders if he is really going to sell him some cheap stuff, like last time, passing it off as Shunibaran's work. This guy is really scary, and it's not for nothing that he rose to the rank of civil servant at such a young age. This is a routine business smile, and his interlocutor at this time asks what the matter is and whether the guy is not curious. Corey replies that he doesn't need anything, and he goes, "The young man thinks that he needs to leave before this guy pulls the wool over his eyes." When Evans turns to Corey again, he only closes the door, and the guy says that he really did leave, after which he stops smiling and claims that the boys have changed since their last meeting. However, he is not upset because Hube likes Shunibaran so much, and he wanted to tell her that he will soon meet her in person. Well, this guy thinks, does he really already know? A little while later, someone turns to the lady and gentleman. It turns out to be servants, and they greet them. At the same moment, someone else runs out. To Brother Haroon and Sister Shu. The main character happily hugs the boy. Harué also turns to Kareem. Well, the young man only asks why his sister took so long, because he missed her very much. The main heroines apologize and say that his sister Hestia was also delayed because she was giving her a ride home. At this time, Haroon turns to Kareem and asks if he doesn't notice him and if the guy doesn't want his older brother and hugged him, but the young man replies that he doesn't really want to. After which his brother says that he didn't really want to hug him either, and he leaves, so the guy shouldn't follow him. At that moment, one of the maids hugs the master and says that she missed him so much, let him pass, because she prepared a bunch of his favorite apple pies. The young man almost cries after this and says that only Grandma Lyda is glad to see him and thanks her, but the woman says that he is not a young lady, but a young gentleman. After which she even approaches the main character and says that this is where she and her parents are waiting for the lady, so let her come in quickly. Haroon says that this is too much. The main character tells Kareem not to pay attention to Haroon and suggests going and eating all the apple pies, to which the boy agrees. And Haroon screams that these kids are really out of their minds, after which he keeps asking him if they have a conscience. But the main character only runs away with her younger brother. A little while later, someone claims that they almost got into trouble. Haroon also says that, fortunately, thanks to that, everything ended well, and their father says that it was good. And he is also glad that they have no problems at the academy. The lady's mother at this time asks how Shushu is doing. And was the school food tasty? The girl answers that yes, and everything was tasty. Haroon at this time turns to his mother and says that when he entered school, she did not ask him about this. The woman asks if this is true about the main character. She understands that it is so good at home. Unlike her previous life, she feels comfortable and cozy. The ladies think that, of course it is. After all, there are things that cause concern. For example, all those rare delicacies that are not within their budget. The girl also notices that her mother's hair is thicker and shinier than before, and her skin is firm and clear. She also has new jewelry and a fashionable dress. She obviously spent a lot of money on her dear person while she was away. The woman then turns to her shushu and says that she has become so beautiful, while she hasn't seen her, after which the woman asks if the girl wants to go shopping with her to the mall. The main character replies that she already has enough clothes, so there is no need. Sharena thinks that, let everything remain as it is for now. Even all this food, because today, after all, the whole family is together, so there is no need to spoil the atmosphere. The maid at this time turns to Lady Shushu and asks if she wants to try dessert early, because she will bring apple pie there. The main character thanks Lita, and she claims that her apple pie is simply amazing. Well, when the girl bites into this pie, she wonders if Lida is trying to poison her. At the same moment, someone says that it looks like Lita mixed up sugar with salt. A little while later, the maid asks how the lady managed to eat the whole spoiled pie, and why she did it. The main character replies that Lita's eyesight is very bad, and that this is a problem, because she didn't even see her brother. The maid says that she will watch her, so that there are no problems, so the latter doesn't worry. She cares about everyone so much, and values Lita so much, that it is only thanks to her that she still remains in the West family. The main character says that no matter how their situation worsens, they cannot let Lita go. She has worked for their family longer than anyone else, and at that age it is difficult to find a new job. So how can they fire her? The woman says that Miss Shushu is already so grown up, even despite her short stature. But let her not worry, because she prepared a special massage to help her grow. The main character, looking at this, thinks whether the girl is really twisting her legs. The woman at this time asks why the lady has built up so much muscle in her calves and will have to get rid of them. The main character understands that she is a little hurt and needs to quickly change the subject, after which she turns to Emily and asks if anything happened to her while she was not home, and it is simply possible that her mother's expenses were too high. The woman then replies that it is beyond her authority, and the main character, noticing her reaction, wonders if she really took the money from the savings that they had been putting aside and not using. When she looks at the maid's reaction, she understands that her mother apparently ordered her not to tell her anything, but her reaction gives everything away. After which, the main character says that it is already late, so let the maid come back, and in any case, she will ask Krim, and he will tell her everything, and the woman then apologizes to her lady and wishes her good night. A little while later, the main character knocks on her younger brother's door and asks if she can come in. When she comes in, the young man turns to his sister Shu and asks if she is there to tell him a bedtime story. The girl replies that of course that too, but first she wants to ask something. The lady wonders if the guy remembers what she asked him before going to the academy. The boy asks if she talked about replacing the shirt that Lita burned while ironing. After all, if that's the case, then let the lady not worry because mom and dad didn't find out about it. The main character says that this is great, but she is talking about the fact that she asked him to keep track of her mother's expenses while she was away. The young man then apologizes to his sister and asks if she will be angry because he did not complete the task. A little while later, the main character is already slamming the door and laughing nervously. After all, she sees in front of her receipts for things that her mother bought in the name of the West family, and these are financial statements of income from her father's secretary. After which, the girl throws them around the room and screams that she is truly in shock. The woman uses her rainy day savings to buy clothes, and looking at the financial table, it is clear that her income has remained the same, but her debt has increased. This is dangerous, and if it continues, it will be difficult to pay off the interest, let alone the principal. The main character says that her father can't rely on her at all in terms of budgeting, and in the end, she has no choice but to work even harder. It seems like I'll have to accept all job offers for Shunibaren, and she'll start right away from tomorrow. The lady understands that, first of all, she needs to check her mail and see if there are any new requests. When the girl looks at the magic ball, she realizes that she has already forgotten what Cal said about someone wanting to meet her. It says that he hopes that Mrs. Shunibaren will soon adjust her schedule to meet with the people he mentioned last time. She was given an appointment with Lunasha, and the main character understands that this is a gold mine, so she cannot miss it. A little while later, the girl is already walking down the corridor and asking where her mommy is. When she enters one of the rooms, she asks if her mother is there, but the woman just hides behind the curtains. The girl asks if she is not there, and if she is in the living room. The woman understands that when her daughter speaks in such a tone, it never ends well. I'll have to pretend that she's very busy and doesn't have time to talk. But at the same moment, the main character, who is standing next to her, says that she checked her mother's schedule and she is free. Well, after which, the girl says that her mother should give her at least a minute of her precious time. The woman understands that she feels the breath of immersion into eternal sleep, after which she says that it is good. A little while later, the woman shows Shusha a dress and tells her to look at it, because her mother bought it for her, and the girl is already a bride. The main character says that it is nice and thanks her mother. The woman asks if it is so, and about the dress that stood out and suited her. Well, the girl says that her mother knows that this is not why she wants to hear it. The woman then asks Shusha what she wants to hear from her mother, and the girl replies that she knows it herself, after which she hands over the receipts and says that there are too many of them, after which he keeps asking if it's true that his mother doesn't want to say anything. And she spent all their savings for emergency expenses, and she asked not to touch them. The woman asks if she really spent that much, and the main character claims that her mother convinced her that she had nothing to worry about and that she could be relied on. But look how much she spent. The woman immediately replies that she is very sorry after how she and Haroon left. She was so lonely, and only shopping calmed her grief for her precious children, so she asks for forgiveness for her wayward mother. The main character understands that she is hitting the very heart, but she cannot stop there. And you need to change your tactics a little. The girl thinks that, fortunately, the mother in this life also cares for her children, as the mother in the past life did. So she tried to stimulate her motherly love as much as possible. The girl immediately turns on the angel mode, which surprises the woman, and asks what happened. The little girl asks if her mother loves her, to which the woman replies that of course, because she is her mother, and the girl is her only daughter. After which, the main character asks how she can believe it, because if it were so, in the end, she wouldn't just be sold. The woman asks in shock what she's talking about, and the main character replies that their family's finances are in bad shape, and if nothing is done, all their savings will soon run out. So what will happen to the daughter of an impoverished family? The woman is horrified by this, and the main character screams out that she will be forcibly married to a rich man, and not only she, but also her brother Haroon, and even Karim. They will all have to arrange marriages of convenience for the sake of money. The woman immediately replies that she will never allow this, and promises Shusha that she will never allow this to happen, because this will never happen to her daughter. The main character understands that this is great, and she took the bait, so it's time to end. The girl immediately hugs her mother and screams that she is so scared because she had a dream that she was sold and kicked out of the house because they had no money to live on, and they lived in cold and hunger. The woman replies that she shouldn't worry because she does everything her daughter asks, and this time let her really believe her. The main character then asks if she can return everything she bought up to today. Well, after which she says that she will trust her mother and asks to take all the things and give them to her because she will return them. Sharena thinks that she has little experience in shopping, and she thinks that it will be difficult to return all the money to the last penny, and therefore she will have to turn to her sister Hazel. Once all the problems have settled down, it will be Shunibaran's turn. A little while later, the main character is already heading somewhere and realizes that this is of course the center of the capital, but there are somehow too many people there. She doesn't like wandering the streets like this, and it's unlikely, but she doesn't want to be recognized. It's a pity, but nothing can be done because the meeting place is somewhere there. When the girl approaches one of the corners, she wonders if this place is really right behind it. Well, when a lady goes behind it, she is surprised because she sees a luxurious building in front of her. The girl wonders if this is the headquarters of the Lunasha Trade Guild. This is the tallest building in the empire, and the feeling of fear is really no joke. The lady knew it was a good offer, but not that good. It somehow caused concern, and after a while, someone greeted Mrs. Shunibaran. The man tells the lady to go inside, and the girl understands that, as expected, it is very beautiful inside. The servant claims that the deputy will come soon and asks the lady to sit there. The main character sits down at the table and realizes that she has come this far, but now feels awkward. Undoubtedly, the Lunasha Trading Guild is the best in the empire. Their goods are always aimed at the quality of the products, which is why the business has risen so high. In recent years, they have monopolized the entire market of the empire, and the key to success is the only one who was recently promoted to Supreme Agent, but for how long she was alone looking, she did not recognize who it was. Knew from the very beginning that they would dig under him, and the girl understands that earlier she would have had to put in a lot of effort to meet Lunasha. Their request for a meeting took place in absolute secrecy, and the girl thinks it was a good idea. After all, he is a simple client who will bring her wealth. Well, then the girl thinks, why is it so hot there? The lady realizes that she is sweating, and then thinks whether to take off her hood, but then realizes that this is the headquarters Lunasha, so you shouldn't reveal your identity. When she checked with the magic sulfur surveillance cameras were installed everywhere, and the girl understands that she cannot trust them. Of course, these will be unusual business negotiations, so the girl understands that she just needs to wait. But when a little more time passes, the lady realizes that she can't stand it anymore, and they will still continue to watch her, so she will take off her cape. At that moment, someone enters the room. The guy apologizes to Mrs. Shunabaren for being late, and the main character wonders what it is. And did she really wait all this time for this? The main character wonders if he really waited for her to take off her cloak. The lady tried so hard to remain incognito, but the guy caught her like a little girl, and she felt uneasy about it. After which, the girl thinks that if she knew that something like this would happen, she would have tried to spend more on transformation potions. But the girl wonders if this is really a representative of Lunasha, because he looks too young. At this time, the young man says that everything is correct, because he really is a representative. And at first, everyone is surprised. After which, he asks to be allowed to formally introduce himself, and states that his name is Evans Lunasha. He is a representative of the Lunasha Guild, and is also very glad that the lady agreed to this meeting. The main character asks if he is Evans, and realizes that she seems to have heard this name before. Evans is one of the main male characters in the novel, and is little mentioned in the plot. Just that he is the son of an influential aristocrat. Just think that this guy is from the Lunasha family. After all, she couldn't even imagine, and doesn't remember it in the plot. After which, the lady thinks that she needs to see what kind of character he really was. At this time, the young man turns to his sister. The main character thinks what kind of sister she is to him. After this, the man keeps saying that Shunibaren is such a beauty, and asks if he can call her his sister. After which, he once again addresses her as a sister, and the main character sees his cold gaze. The girl understands that there is a warm smile on his face, but it is deceptive, and this guy is dangerous. Therefore, you need to finish the job and get out of there, after which people suggest getting straight to the point. She also wonders what he wants to say. The girl understands that now she is sure that he was waiting for her to reveal herself. The guy at this time says that it is amazing, and the lady is so pretty. That is why he likes her. And the young man asks, "How about looking at this document?" The main character takes the paper in her hands, and wonders if this is really a contract, and asks if it is from the very first meeting. Wants to sign a long-term contract. But she came there for a one-time order. The guy asks if she is going to refuse without even reading it. Let her not act rashly and read this contract, because he is sure that the lady will like it. The main character replies that it's okay, and she will read it, but she tells him to move away. The girl looks at this contract and realizes that this is the first time she has seen a real contract from Lunash. Well, at that very moment, the lady is surprised, and her interlocutor asks what the matter is, and whether she is really unhappy with something. The main character replies that, on the contrary, the conditions are very tempting. The lady sees a prestigious contract, and she will have a payment of 1,000 gold immediately upon conclusion, and then another 100 gold in addition. The payment depends on the amount of work done, and this will not only save 7 from bankruptcy, but also provide her with a comfortable life until she plunges into eternal sleep. The terms of the contract are as favorable as possible for her, and the girl thinks that it is so tempting. But when she turns to the guy, he says that it looks like the lady is happy with everything, and asks whether it is worth signing the contract. The main character understands that she shouldn't make hasty decisions, because that smile won't fool her. The girl apologizes, but says that it is too unexpected, because it is difficult for her to provide her services to only the Lunasha Guild. The girl thinks that she still has to return to the academy after the holidays. Her interlocutor asks if she refuses to, which the lady replies that she is on the attack and that she is sorry. The main character wonders if he guessed that she would refuse, and that she doesn't like all this, so she needs to leave. Well, after which the girl says that in that case, if that's all, then she'll go. But when the guy once again addresses her as a sister, the girl asserts that she is a public figure, so he suggests not to call her that because she doesn't like it. But when the girl says goodbye to him and grabs the door handle, the guy at the same moment, he doesn't let her open the door, and says that it seems that his sincere feelings, as her admirer, were not to the lady's liking. The main character turns to the guy and asks what he is doing. Well, at that moment, she gets a little scared. After all, she sees his cold expression and thinks how he changed so quickly. Her interlocutor claims that this is strange, because he thought that the lady would like it, and she seemed to mention that she likes younger guys. The main character wonders what he is talking about, and whether the guy is really angry because she forbade him to call herself sister. This guy is a real psycho, and he is one of the economical male characters. The lady realizes that she must run quickly, and as luck would have it, she did not take a single monster ball with her. The girl wonders if there is anything that can help her. She only has a detector of magical devices in the form of an osphor. The lady understands that nothing can be done, and she will blind him with a flash of the videosphere and avoid it. But when the lady is about to do this, the guy just pulls the hairpin out of his hair. And he breaks this thing. The main character is shocked and wonders if he really broke the sphere. She understands that this hairpin can put a person into eternal sleep. The lady also sees how he quickly collects his hair and understands that this psycho is dangerous because he is really scary. The guy at this time approaches the main character and says that it is true that calling her a sister is wrong, after which he wonders if it is because he is actually older than her. The guy takes the lady's hair and asks Sharena West if this is true. The main character is shocked and wonders if he really knows her. The girl asks if he knew from the very beginning. Her interlocutor answers that it is true. The main character thinks that, of course, this is so, after which she decides to think about where she went wrong. The Lunasha Trade Guild is the best at finding information, and money has opened many doors, for them both for revenge and for running their own business. Regardless of the pay, she never seemed to get a job that was above Lunasha's. The girl wonders if something like this has ever happened before, but then she realizes that she needs to think about it when she gets out of there, after which the main character hits the guy and then runs to the door and understands that if she gets out. However, when she tries to open this door, it does not open, and her interlocutor claims that only he can open this door. The young man also says that he is in pain, and it seems that this has really affected Miss Shunibarine. The main character thinks what's the point, and she should hit him, after which the lady pulls a hairpin out of his hair, and then she knocks the guy off his feet, after which he falls to the floor. Her interlocutor says the state was dangerous. Head is okay, but at that very moment, the main character shows him a pin to his throat. Sharena claims that she doesn't want to see him, so let the guy open the door immediately. Her interlocutor, with a smile on his face, says that he will think about it if the lady signs the contract. At this time, the main character is horrified and wonders if he is even smiling in this situation, and if this guy is really strange. At this time, her interlocutor says that he is just a high school student, and it is dangerous to wave sharp objects. Sharena understands that he didn't even flinch, and if she's lucky enough to escape from there, it seems she'll still have problems because of him. Her son exposed her influential aristocrats, for whom it would be a piece of cake to take revenge on her. He may be a senior in high school, but he probably has influence even at school, so even if she manages to escape, he will still get it from under the ground, and in that case, a compromise will have to be found. The lady then says, okay, and extends her hand to the guy, apologizes, and also says that she will listen to him, after which he even suggests getting up. A little while later, Hestia asks over the phone if Shushu has really gone for a walk in the city, will return soon, and her interlocutor claims that she will, and he hopes so, because she did not say where exactly she would go. The guy also says that if Hestia bored, then let her come and they can have fun together. Well, the girl replies that she wants to spend time with Shushu and not with Harun Appa, to which the guy replies that it's okay, and suggests that she try to contact Shushu again, after which he hangs up. After this, the girl thinks, since when she can't contact Sharena, and why is she somewhere without her? The main character at this time asks if her interlocutor is talking about Hestia, to which the guy replies that yes, and he liked her, so he followed her, and the girl caught his eye. He did a little investigation, and who would have thought that the girl he was looking for so long? The lady thinks that if it is because of Hestia, then this guy must want her to bring them together. The girl also understands that she wanted to avoid this so much, and will she really have to become a matchmaker for the main character? After which the girl asks what now, because he knows who she is, and the lady asks what he wants. Her interlocutor replies that nothing at all, and the main character asks what he's talking about. The guy replies that now he likes Sharena, and now she is in his tender heart. Sharena is shocked and wonders why he needs this. At this time, the guy claims that he is one of her customers. He owns a business that his dad once owned, and it was nothing more than a hobby. Well, one day Daddy has hard times, and it's so exciting. The main character understands that he is talking about his father's problems. So why is she so happy? The young man smiles at this time and claims that he will give her a choice. The main character asks him what he's talking about and realizes that this guy's mood is like a roller coaster. Her interlocutor says that the truth is that his daddy highly values her abilities, and he told him to lure the lady into the elite of their guild. He believes that even from enemies, it is possible and necessary to have an advantage. Therefore, he guarantees that if the lady does not sign the contract, her life will be in danger. Well, let her not dare to sign a contract with the Lunacia Guild, after which the guy completely breaks this contract. And she says, does she see that those who sign the contract receive a mark, and all for the sake of forcing the lady to devote her entire life to the Lunacia Guild? He won't go into details, but the guild is up to some shady business, and the lady could suffer as a result. Well, he likes her, and he doesn't want anything like that for her. But instead, why doesn't she forget about the contract and listen to his proposal? The main character is a little surprised by this, after which the guy says that if something doesn't suit her, she'll go home as if nothing had happened. Well, he knows what the lady is capable of, so let her think carefully before answering. Sharena asks what it means to think and wonders if he is not going to exploit her for life like his father. The girl understands that she remembered, and in the novel Evans always hit on the sly. The young man claims that his thoughts are purer than holy water, but then he begins to feel pain in his mark. And then he falls completely. The main character turns to the Sunbay in shock, and the guy only turns to Shireen West and asks to save him. A little while later, Hestia tells her friend how lucky they were to go for a walk. There were so many delicious things there, so the girl was great for noticing this cafe. The main character replies that they are very lucky, and she is glad that Hess likes everything. But her interlocutor asks why they see each other so little lately, because she thought that with the beginning of the holidays, they would meet more often. But the ladies are always busy. The girl replies that everything is not so, because she continues to run errands for her mother, and her interlocutor asks, is she dating Corey or Haley Appa by any chance? The main character immediately replies that she is not, and her interlocutor claims that she heard them agreeing to go to a cafe together during the holidays, to which the lady replies that yes, and she promised them, but they haven't gone anywhere yet, after which there is silence between them, and the main character looks away. Hestia wonders if Shushu is even listening to her, and the main character is almost trampled by Juice and asks what she just said. Hestia says that she is serious. They finally went out somewhere together after so much time, and the girl is in the clouds, and she doesn't pay attention to her at all. The lady also asks if she really doesn't care that much, but she seems to be somewhere else in her thoughts. The main character replies that no, in fact she was lost in thought, after which she apologizes. Sharena apologizes to Hestia in her mind once again, and realizes that she really has things going wrong. She felt awkward that the girl was constantly asking about her, so she suggested meeting up herself. But to be honest, at the moment, she is carrying out Evan's orders. The girl also looks at her goal, and she realizes that 3 days after her first visit to the guild, she signed an agreement with Evans. No matter how much she thinks about it, everything seems useless, Petya. She is already in the hands of the Lunacia family. If she had not accepted Evans' offer, all her plans would have been ruined. In any case, she would have plunged into eternal sleep and hunger, and such a tragic end does not suit her. Well, what's worse, they could have put them into eternal sleep, and she had no choice. Besides, that time he really scared her, and it turned out he had medicine, but she was still scared. The guy claimed that he revealed the secrets of the guild to her, so the tattoo began to secrete poison. If the lady does not want to end up like that, then she should never sign a contract with the Lunacia Guild. The head of Lunacia did something so cruel to his own son, and it is absolutely obvious that there is no talk of healthy relationships in this family. Girl. Also, this is thinking about penalties for breaking the agreement. Recently, the guy claimed that they will conclude agreements without nasty tattoos, and the main character said that if someone violates the conditions, then he will be provided a free kick to the ass. The guy was a little surprised by this, and the girl asked if he was really unhappy with something. The lady thinks that everything is fair and all because she is soft-hearted and gentle, but at the same moment, the girl understands that her target is leaving. His route is not much different from the usual one, and she needs to watch him a little more, after which the main character tells her interlocutors that she has eaten enough and suggests going for a walk. Hestia says that she hasn't finished eating yet and has barely touched the food, And the main character replies that she must have started eating less after living at the academy. But the girl says that she wants cake, after which they still head somewhere. A little while later, the main character watches this man from afar and thinks that this is quite strange. After all, he's stuck in the office today. Evans tells the girl to continue to follow him. He will probably get out of there soon. Sharena. She replies that it's easy to say and tells the guy that she's not a machine, after which she asks if it's possible to use a magic motion sensor. But she was very tired and didn't even really eat because she was watching this guy all this time. And by the way, she was very hungry. Then the guy says that it's fine and let her take a break. The main character at this time hands the guy a sandwich and says that she took it for him, so let him eat. But her interlocutor replies that he doesn't want to, and the lady is really magnificent. After all, she did something like that in such a short time. The main character thinks it's strange, after which he keeps saying that she is just working off her money. The girl also understands that this guy has become calmer. The more often they meet, the harder it is to see him smile. And if Evie is always so serious, what kind of life did he live, and what happened that made him swear revenge on his own father? After which, the main character tells him to say exactly how he plans to take revenge. The guy asks if she wants to know his plans, and the girl replies that if she doesn't answer, she meant maybe there is a way to make him change his mind. They only talked about their agreements, but not a word about this. Evans asks if she wants him to change his mind, and the lady realizes that she herself did not realize that she said it out loud, after which she claims that she wanted to say that it was very risky, and that if he failed, then she would also be in danger. Evans then sighs and claims that his father's business is built on fraud. He will only make it obvious, and a scandal will break out, and then he will ruin himself and go bankrupt. His father doesn't know the legal way to do business, so he'll get into even more trouble to fix the situation. In fact, he'll be the one who catches him and puts him in jail. The main character asks if he will stop there, to which the guy replies that in no case, because aristocrats are not kept in prison for a long time. While his father is in custody, he will appropriate all his property, and when he is released, he will have nothing left in this world, and no one will dare to deal with him anymore. And so begins his great revenge, and the main character understands that all this is only the beginning. She also thinks about how much the guy hates his father, after which the main character looks through binoculars and says that this man must have left. Evans asks if he has finally moved, and it looks like he has already left the office. At this time, the main character sees that he is already on the street and claims that the target is leaving the building. The girl says that he entered the left alley leading to the slums, and her interlocutor tells her to quickly get ready and go. The main character collects things and says that they can all go down. Well, then the girl asks Evie what is going on because they missed the target. But at that very moment, the guy takes her in his arms, and the main character in shock asks what he is doing and offers to put her down right now. And her interlocutor says that he thinks they won't have time to eat or go down the stairs, after which he stands on the edge of the building. The main character in shock asks the respected Sunbae why he is standing on the edge of the roof and why he is doing this. Well, the guy just suggests that she be patient, after which he takes the step of creation. The next moment, they are already rapidly flying down, and the girl screams that he is crazy. When they continue to fly down, the guy lets go of the lady. The main character is shocked and wonders if he really let go of the hand that held her legs, and if he really did this to get rid of her. At this time, Evans takes a magic circle on paper out of his pocket, and the lady in horror only thinks that he should not let her go. The guy then tears up the paper, and then they land softly on the floor. Evans tells the girl to move, because now they will have time to catch up with him, and the main character suggests that he go first, because her legs won't be able to withstand it, and she's a little exhausted. The guy then looks at the lady, and then he takes her on his shoulders, and says that they need to go. He also asks where the person who, despite everything, was going to do everything perfectly, after which he invites her to hold on tight. When they run further, the guy asks what alley it was, to which Lydia replies that it was the left one. Well, when they turn the corner, this man is no longer visible, and Evans asks if they really missed him. The main character asks what to do and whether it is necessary to wait for the next opportunity, but the guy replies that no, after which he asks if she can pretend to be asleep for a second. The main character does so, but wonders what he is trying to do. At that very moment, the young man turns to his sweet sisters with a smile on his face and asks, could they help him? The women immediately ask with a smile on their faces if the guy is really telling them this. And it seems he has gone crazy because do they really look like cute sisters? The main character thinks that everything is clear, and Evans is again in the image of a cutie. One of the women says that the guy is not yet an adult and is interested in what he is doing there and how to help him. And the young man replies that as they see it, his sister got drunk and passed out, and they can't get into the house because their father took the keys. The guy also says that his little sister shouldn't sleep on a cold floor, and the woman at the same time says what a good brother he is. The young man claims he saw his father go that way and wonders if they saw him. One of the women asks what he was wearing, and the guy replies that he is wearing a black hat with a hooked nose and a dark red coat. One of the ladies says that she thinks she saw him, and the guy went to Yasur's hut. The other one at this time asks if minors can enter there, because she is not sure that they will be allowed in. The woman also asks what to do because the guy went all this way to find his father, but he still has an older sister. The guy answers that she is faithful and asks where he should go. The woman replies that Yasur's hut is 2 blocks away and that she needs to go over there, to which he thanks his lovely sisters. When they move on, the main character says that the guy behaved terribly, to which he replies that yes, and if she were even a little bit as good as he, she would not have been discovered. Sharena, he thinks what he is talking about, and if she hadn't played along, he wouldn't have been able to find out anything. A little while later, they find themselves in front of the establishment, and the guy invites her to go in there. When they go inside, the main character realizes that it looks like a nightclub. Evans claims that this establishment is more spacious than he thought and asks where to look for this man, but the main character replies that it doesn't matter, and you just need to look. The lady looks at the people and understands that everyone is so cheerful because they are drinking, dancing, and singing again. In any world, nightlife is the same, and the girl never danced, except for those times when she worked part-time at events. At this time, Evans turns to Shush, and the lady asks if he has found the target. The guy replies that yes, and he is at that table, but there are too many people around, and if they just come up to him, they will attract unnecessary attention, and maybe it's worth making a little noise and distracting attentions. The main character asks him what he's talking about, and the guy claims that it will take some time. Sharena, he thinks how he will order the recluse, who has always led a quiet and inconspicuous life, to make some noise. Besides, there are a lot of people sitting at the table, and a little fuss won't be enough. The lady thinks whether it will work out, because for that kind of money, everything is possible. But she still doesn't understand whether she can cope. At the same moment, the main character sees one of the dancers and says, okay, and she will do it too. But what she is going to do in a day is not her pride, and she wants to be sure that everything will work out for him. Evans asks what's wrong with the lady's face, after which he says that it's good and suggests starting. The main character then heads to the stage and understands that everything is fine because she can do it. The lady was very shy when she first started working at events, but she overcame it and earned her first salary. Therefore, she needs to think only about the money that will fall into her hands, and the girl asks the dancers for farewell. She also understands that this time the working day is much harder than others, and she turns to her sweet sisters, asking them to clear the dance floor, because she came from there to have fun and wonders what kind of boredom is there. After which, the girl even suggests making some noise, because she will teach them how to rock. The main character asks who will be with her, and screams for everyone to stand up and scream with her. The lady takes off her jacket and starts twirling it, and then makes some really strange movements. Everyone immediately starts laughing and says that the lady is beating herself up like a fish on dry land. And what should she do? It's so funny. At the same moment, others start laughing and asking what kind of dance this is. The main character understands that she will now plunge into eternal sleep from shame, but she cannot stop and fail. Because the most important thing is money, and then the main character screams for everyone to sing and dance together. Evans starts laughing as he watches. A little while later, someone in the club asks what's going on and why there are so many people today. One of them claims that they should have come earlier because the fish dance blew up the dance floor. Someone asks what it is, and he says that at that moment he stepped away for a short while, after which he says that the guy should learn to beat while he has the opportunity and watch carefully, and also remember. A little while later, the main character sits behind the boxes and realizes that she wants to fall into eternal sleep and fall through the ground. Sharena West is just crazy. And why did she decide to dance when she would have been better off fighting? If you think about it, the girl wore a doll mask when she worked part-time, and she wasn't so ashamed in the mask. Well, then the lady thinks that if someone finds out, and she is broken, and also wants to be buried just like that, at the same moment, someone else turns to the lady and says that she is there, even says that the lady is there, and thanks to her, he learned everything he needed, so she did a great job. After which, he suggests leaving, and the main character barely gets up, but then completely falls off her feet. After which, there is silence between them, and the lady says that she must have used up all her strength on the dance. The guy tells her to get up, but the lady screams that she has no strength and realizes that her legs are falling off. At that very moment, the lady's leg gives way, and the girl falls onto his back, and her interlocutor asks if she will climb. To which the lady replies that yes. And a little while later, they are already walking across the street, and Shirena apologizes for disturbing him. The guy replies that everything is fine, and says that they need to get out of there quickly. She can play along with him again and pretend to be his sleeping sister, to which the lady replies, okay. The girl understands that she needs to think about looking good. She is already exhausted, and he has already carried her twice. Well, at that very moment, the lady smells fried meat, and even says that it's probably from a street yakitori vendor. Shirena asks if he really has so many different tasty things. The girl also says that there are kebabs made from vegetables and ham. The lady also sees chicken and then sees fish kebabs, and wonders if he really has everything. But at that very moment, Even starts laughing and says that this is wonderful. The main character asks him what he is talking about, after which the young man remembers the lady's dance. And he says that he can't forget her incomparable dance. The girl asks why he laughs. At the same moment, the guy replies that nothing, and asks if she is hungry, and also if she wants a chicken kebab. People understand that he has entered the character again, and replies that she is not hungry, after which everyone suggests that he not look at her like that. A little while later, the girl is already holding 2 kebabs in her hands and understands that he bought 2 pieces but thinks why. The lady wonders if he gave her 2 out of generosity or because his hands are full, and then she hands one of the kebabs to the guy and tells him to eat it. But her interlocutor replies that he bought both kebabs for her, so let the lady eat herself. The main character asks why, and the guy replies that he thought that one would not be enough for her. Shirena wonders if this means he wants to say that she is fat and eats a lot. Well, the guy claims that she is a growing organism and therefore can eat as much as she wants. Shirena wonders if now is really hinting at her growth. After which, the main character starts to strangle him and tells him to eat. Her interlocutor replies that he has no appetite, but the main character screams that he has been hungry all day, so let him eat. The guy says that everything is fine and asks if she could stop, because it seems like the sauce is dripping on his back. Shirena screams that he can use magic, so he shouldn't worry and eat a lot. Well, at that very moment, the guy takes her in his arms, and the main character wonders if he is angry, because she was spinning around a lot. After which, the lady turns to Evans. But when he approaches her, the girl realizes that she was wrong. Evans only moves closer to the lady, which surprises her, but he only takes a bite of the kebab. After which, he asks if she is happy. The main character is still embarrassed, and answers that she is. The girl understands that he surprised her, and thinks why he made such a face. Eating only 1 piece is not normal, and the girl thinks is it all because he is a character in a novel. Shirena also thinks that maybe he doesn't like to eat, and the girl can't believe that out of this amazing delicacy, he ate only vegetables. It's quite strange because the lady never saw him eat anything, and the guy only drank milk or water. Moreover, before he took some strange powdered medicines every time. The lady eats 2 skewers of shashlik and realizes that these medicines looked harmless, and she wonders if they are some kind of drugs. Evans turns to shush, but when the girl asks what is going on, the guy suddenly falls silent. Shirena offers him to talk, and Ernasha claims that, frankly speaking, he was going to make her work for him until he achieved his goals. The main character understands that he is apparently going to break their agreement, and that she is not imagining things. The lady asks what he is getting at, and her interlocutor replies that he has changed his mind. The information he learned today is quite enough, and if she wants to quit everything, she can say so at any time. After all, dirty work doesn't suit her. A little while later, the main character is in the kitchen squeezing lemons. The girl remembers how the guy said that money is important, but what good is it if it harms her life? She has a good family, and the best is yet to come, so let her enjoy life to the fullest. The girl thinks that no matter how you look at it, Evans doesn't seem as terrible as in the original story. The author is a bit weird, and the lady wonders why everything is so confusing. The girl is not very perceptive, so she is not sure. But Haley, Corey, and Evans, she has a feeling that they are different from the original. At the same moment, someone else turns to the lady and says that today, she is so sweet and cheerful. The guy asks if she really makes juice, especially for her brother, and she is his favorite sister. The young man drinks the juice at the same moment and asks if it is freshly squeezed. But it is so delicious! The main character screams what he is doing and understands that she sees how hard she worked to make it for Evans and why this idiot drank it. Well, when a guy drinks this juice, he almost faints and understands how difficult the life of a healthy lifestyle enthusiast is. At this time, Kareem is in shock and says that his sister has plunged him back into eternal sleep, after which he screams for his brother to wake up because he cannot leave them so early. A little while later, the main character goes to the guild again, and when she knocks on the door, it's Evans tells her to come in. The main character opens the door, and her interlocutor tells her to come in, but she has already entered. The guy claims that the lady said that she needed time to think, but she quickly made up her mind. It seems that the decision was easy for her too, which the girl replies that no, and she will not give up so easily. Evans! She answers that it is true and she will not give up, but at the same moment in shock, she asks what she is talking about. The main character replies that she is saving him, and if she leaves, the guild will not leave the guy alone. To which he replies that yes, and wonders if it is not easy for the girl to deal with his kind, since he only wanted to give her an easier opportunity. One way or another, he is going to finish what he started, and the main character says that she has no business without him. The lady also asks if Evans really set up the problems with her mother, to which the guy replies that he did, and asks how long ago she guessed. He also asks if even knowing this, the lady still wants to continue to cooperate with him. The main character understands that, of course, it would be better for her to stay away from Evans, who is a representative of the Lunacia Guild. Well, after getting to know him better, the lady realized that he is not as terrible as the character in the original story. Therefore, she does not see the need to break the contract. And now the lady says that, yes, because no one pays as much as he does. Material power is good and gold shines beautifully. The guy then sighs and says that it's good, and the girl understands that this is the main reason why she won't quit. And where will he get so much money? Sharena claims that he himself worsened her family's financial situation so that nothing can be done. They will postpone the formalities until his revenge is accomplished. Evans then smiles and replies that it is good. In that case, let the lady allow him to tell her about his plans for today, and the main heroine says that she is listening. The guy says that, for a start, let her be kind, and the viewing will also sort it out. These documents. The main character is shocked and wonders why there are so many of them, and a little while later, she finishes the work and realizes that she finally coped with it. At this time, the guy suggests having a snack and going from there. And when the main character takes food out of the bag, looking at the packaging, she says that these are those same delicious sandwiches, after which she wishes bon appetit. Well, when the ladies look at the guy, she realizes that he is eating this powder again. The girl also understands that she did not forget to put this thing in the bag, and after that, she hands the guy a bottle of liquid. Her interlocutor asks what it is. The main character answers that it is a distortion. The lady also says that there is nothing strange there, and it is just healthy juice. So let him drink, because it seemed to her that the guy doesn't like to chew. So she tried and made it. But her interlocutor asks what kind of nonsense this is, because it is a complex supplement that treats headaches, indigestion, and reduces stress, and also provides him with all the necessary vitamins. So why does he need her incomprehensible juices? And besides, what about carbohydrates? Because he won't drink this. And after these, he will just look at the beautiful silver color of this supplement. The main character screams, "Is this food? Because it is more likely medicine." And the young man looking at the juice says, "Okay," and also asks if she made it herself. But the main character replies that she grabs a bottle from the table and screams for him to give her the juice since he doesn't like it, and then she'll drink it herself. Well, then silence hangs between them, and the girl realizes that he wasn't going to drink it, and he just wanted to take it out of politeness. After which the lady once again puts this juice on the table and screams that no answer. If he does not want to drink it, then let him just throw it away. The girl understands that she is a complete idiot since she continues to think and care about him. But at the same moment, Evans thanks her. But he tells her not to do something like that in the future because it puts him in an awkward position. People who did him a favor and gifts without any reason usually turned out to be schemers or scumbags, perverts. So perhaps the lady is simply shameless. The main character asks what he said, and then suggests that he throw it away and not dare to take anything else from her, because he is the worst of the two. When the guy drinks this juice, he wants to ask what the lady added to it, and the main character understands that he is not as easy to knock off track as Haruna. It's good that she remade this juice on Emily's advice, after which the main character asks him to reduce his consumption of powder, because if he continues to take medications, he will ruin his health, and there is nothing good in this. Let him live longer and not give up. After all, the guy is her precious money bag, and he can't go into eternal sleep until he pays off her bills. Evans asks if she really thinks he's a money bag, to which the main character replies that he's a rich and generous boss who gives bonuses for hard work, and he is simply amazing. But at the same moment, someone else knocks on the office door and tells the gentleman that the CEO is looking for him. The guy frowns at this time and tells this person to come in. When he enters the room, the servant apologizes for the interruption. While he claims that the CEO wants to discuss future contracts with him and asks him to come immediately, Evans, with a smile on his face, replies that it's fine and he'll go see him right away. After which the guy turns to Miss Shunabaran and says that he won't be there for a while. Shirena understands that she will not get used to this abrupt change of image, and the girl thinks how many masks he has, after which her interlocutor whispers that the lady should listen carefully and let her lock the door and not leave this room until his return. After which the guy leaves, and the main character thinks that she suddenly feels uneasy. A little while later, she is already sitting on the couch and thinking when this guy will come back and whether she should read out of boredom. The lady reads the title of the book, The Beginning of Tragedy, and understands that the title does not go well with his office. In this story, a swordsman went to find a merchant who would tell him how to get the power of a dragon. A poor knight promised to give the dragon's body to the merchant in exchange for information. The main character realizes that she expected romance, but this is just a story about a dragon. At the same moment, someone comes up to the lady from behind and leans on her, causing her to scream. The girl says that he scared her, after which she asks why he did it. Her interlocutor then apologizes, and then the lady hugs him and asks him to wait a second. The main character asks if everything is okay, but a few seconds later, the guy, already with a smile on his face, moves away and says that the lady is a smart girl because she waited for him for so long. He also asks if the lady missed him a lot. If she is completely finished, then she can go home, to which the main character agrees. But when she looks at Evan's hands, who understands that before he went there, they were fine, and now they are all wounded, the girl also thinks, is it really that bad? A little while later, the lady comes to this trade guild again and hopes that everything will be fine today. After which the girl goes inside and greets the guy and also says that she will come in. But at that moment, Evans jumps on her with hugs and says that Shushu has finally arrived. The main character thinks that she knew it, and then she starts wondering if it will always be like this. So when his father, who is the head of the Lunacia Guild, called him, she doesn't know what happened to him. But from that day on, he constantly wants to spend time with her and always hugs her. This happens quite often, and the girl thinks that if it were Haley, she would have hit him already. Evans is distant. This is not in his style, after which the girl says that they need to work and suggests that he pull himself together, to which he agrees. People understand that at such moments, he looks like an ordinary teenager, which is what it is. At this time, Evans offers the lady to settle in, because he will prepare everything necessary, and the main heroine agrees. When the guy takes up the papers, the lady looks at his cold expression and understands that. Then he returned as if nothing had happened. But nevertheless, he did not open up to her, and the girl thinks that if everything is as she suspects. At the same moment, she feels something touching her hair, and it turns out to be Evans. The main character wonders what he is doing, and the guy in a questioning tone says that he is playing with her hair. Shirena wonders if he is really asking her, and if she can't ask permission first. Well, then the lady thinks that she should wait a minute, because something is bothering him again. Something serious must have happened, since he looks even worse than the other times. So now the girl is interested, is silent in response to this, and then claims that when he touches them, his mood improves. The hair feels like dog hair, and the main character says that's how it is. But at the same moment, she starts shaking the guy and screams, "What the hell is he talking about?" The young man replies that it was a compliment because her hair is soft and pleasant like dog fur. Sharena replies that now everything is clear. Otherwise, it sounded like blatant rudeness. The guy stops smiling after that and says that the bitch didn't care. Because this won't happen again. The lady wonders if this is true, and the guy suggests conducting another secret investigation. And if everything goes according to plan, they will be able to finish this case. A little while later, the girl stands in front of the mirror or remembers the guy's words about this time. She needs to change her appearance. She needs to change her face beyond recognition, and the best image would be a 9 or 10-year-old child. This would require strong magic, so he gave her a magic stone. Now the main character holds it in her hands and understands what is contained in this stone. A large amount of mana, but for some reason it seems familiar to her. The girl looks at her earrings and understands that if you think about it, they are also filled with magic. A little while later, the lady asked Corey what the magic of the earrings was, and the guy answered that it was a big secret. Sharena claims that for some reason she remembered Corey, and he is a genius, so it is not surprising if the guy sells magic stones. The girl also thinks if he is doing well, but at the same time she understands that this is strange, because she feels that she forgot about something important that Evans asked for. It is then that the lady thinks that it does not matter, because she will start with the transformation before she is late for the meeting. It is necessary to concentrate and imagine a completely new image in the head, and also apply magic and transformations. But then the girl realizes that she never imagined another image, and wonders if everything will be okay, and what if she looks strange? But when the main character finishes, she opens her eyes and looks at herself in the mirror. The lady understands that this image is the same as she imagined. This is how she looked in her past life before all the misfortunes, after which the lady understands that the state is simply unrealistic, but the main thing is to continue living. A little while later, the main character remembers what she was so worried about, and they were supposed to have a gastronomic tour, because this is the day when they agreed to go to a restaurant during the holidays. She completely forgot about it. The girl thinks what to do, because if she pretends that she doesn't know them, she'll just wait. Then maybe everything will work out. Sharena also sees that these two are still happily chatting, and she needs to somehow warn them not to wait for her, but she even changed her voice so that she couldn't call, and then the girl thinks that there's nothing to be done. The lady runs up to these two and apologizes, but he wonders if they are the ones waiting for Sister Shusha. One of the guys replies that yes, they were supposed to meet there, but she hasn't arrived yet. He also wonders who this girl is. The main character replies that her name is Yen, and she works for Sister Shusha. Haley looks at the girl and says that it is a rather unusual name, after which she asks if it is from the Eastern continent. The lady replies that it is, and says that her sister asked her to tell them that she will not be able to come to the meeting. Well, at that very moment, the prince turns to the little girl and says that if Shushu offends her, then let the girl say so and not be embarrassed, because even she won't get away with exploiting child labor. The main character is shocked and thinks what this idiot is saying. And Corey at that very moment grabs his friend by the cape and says that since Shushu couldn't come, they will go alone and let Haley not make fun of the little girl. He also thanks the girl for letting them know. Haley furiously turns around and screams who is making fun of her, after which he suggests that they stop chatting and go to the end. Ian says goodbye to them, after which Corey strokes the girl's head and tells her not to meet trouble. Haley screams why Corey is stuck there and suggests that he go already, after which the blonde tells Yen to take care of herself, and if she wants to play later, she should definitely contact him. The main character linked to the face understands that she transformed so easily thanks to her own magical power. But how hard it is to deceive a genius. After which the lady understands that now is not the time, and she is late. You need to go to the 3rd alley after the 5th block. But when the girl enters one of the alleys at that very moment, someone stands in front of her and asks for the baby. Does she want to see something interesting? The main character asks what he is talking about. Her interlocutor claims that she is the main agent of the Lunasha Guild. Sharena asks what he is talking about and wonders if Evie's plan has failed, but this is the first time she is transformed into this image. That's why she doesn't understand how she was exposed. The girl thinks that maybe it's just a coincidence, for now it's worth pretending that it wasn't her, and then we'll see. The little girl claims that she's just a girl who was on her father's errand and wonders why he's doing this. But the man screams furiously for her to stop crying and say that she is Shunibarain. The girl, with tears in her eyes, replies that if she is late, she will be scolded, after which she asks to let her go. The man asks if it is true that it is not her, to which the girl replies that it is, and her interlocutor wonders if she is not Shushu with curly red hair. And that is, it was not she who made useful juice for her wonderfully rich boss again. When the guy takes off his hood, the main heroine wonders if it is Evans. The guy at this time says that as he thought it was Shushu, and she looks completely different, so he was not sure if it was her. The main character screams that he was not sure, and he really scared her. The young man at this time is interested in what with her eye shape because it looks like the Eastern continent. He also asks if she likes this appearance, and the girl asks if she looks strange. She used transformation magic and did not really think about it. That's why it happened like this. Her interlocutor replies that if it happened unconsciously, then the image was taken from memory, after which he wonders if someone similar was important to her. The lady at this time looks at her reflection in a puddle and thinks about an important person, after which she says that of course not. The guy silently looks at her, after which the lady suggests to end everything quickly. A little while later, they already arrive at the place, and the main character suggests that they go already, because if he doesn't hurry up before someone passes by, they will have problems. But the young man tells her to wait, because he needs to find something. However, when he finishes the inspection, he says that there is nothing. He was again misinformed that there would be guild documents there. The main character asks if he is talking about the document. Confirming the investment, Lunasha then asks why he needs it. The young man replies that this is an unusual investment, and this is a confirmation of the investment of the guild underground business. The girl asks if this is so, and wonders why such a big fish like Lunasha. To make such dangerous investments, if it is revealed, Tegel will face a fabulous fine, precisely because it is risky and sooner or later everything will be revealed. The guy answers that it was he who convinced Daddy to go for it. Despite the obvious risks, the expected income is too attractive. His father took the bait easily, so she can't wait to see his face when he realizes that this risk will send him straight to hell. The main character thinks that he should laugh or get angry, but not do both at the same time. The girl also understands that she would not want to become his enemy, after which the lady asks why he is looking for such an important document there. And the guy's answer, that he said that someone is digging under Lunash, and his father tried to hide the documents. The main character wonders if this is really true, and she can't believe it. The young man replies that no. Fortunately, he knows where the necessary papers are. He also asks if the lady remembers, because recently his father was very upset, and because of this, he took out all his anger on him. After that, he stole the documents and hid them in the villa, and then in this carriage, but now he cannot find them. The main character asks what to do now, and the guy answers that most likely he hid them again, because he doesn't trust anyone. As expected, everything worked out just brilliantly with the transformation magic, and now they can go to the villa. After which the guy throws all the servants out of the carriage and tells Shushu to go inside and wait while he does some cleaning. The girl asks if it's really right now and what he's going to do. The guy replies that these people are destined to fall into eternal sleep under torture anyway. Therefore, he will give them a simpler end. The main character is surprised by this, and the guy replies that she must watch them pinched, let her hurry up and close the door. The girl understands that he seems to live in another world, and it must be a very cruel world. After all, the guy is like a completely different person. The lady climbs into the carriage and, covering her ears, thinks how much red liquid there is from the very beginning. The girl also thinks whether it is really impossible to carry out the operation peacefully. A little while later, they already find themselves in the murdered, and the main character is looking at the scarecrows. He says what a scary atmosphere there is. No matter how many carriages belong to the head of the house, They got there too easily, and the girl says that it is strange, after which she asks if this is really the villa. The guy replies that yes, this villa is only for his father. The main character asks what this means, and her interlocutor tells the lady that it is dangerous to stay there, after which he suggests hurrying up. The main character understands that they could think it all over, but does he really not want to talk? After which the lady thinks that he is probably in a bad mood, and only agrees, and also asks if he knows where to look. Evans answers that they should be in the office in the basement, and that's where he usually hides the most valuable things. The main character asks what if the papers have already been destroyed, and the guys answer that there is no other way to get the money back. You need to find it, hide it, and reuse it, so he can't get rid of it. The girl understands that since he is an angelic representative, she will trust him, but she still doesn't understand why he doesn't tell her directly where these papers are. This villa is extremely suspicious, and there were quite a few guards outside, but there is no one inside, and besides, what does it mean that this villa is only for his father, and does he, as his right hand, not have access to it? When the lady wants to address the guy, he suddenly stops and the lady hits his back. The main character wonders why he suddenly stopped, but her interlocutor answers that it's not too late, and if they get down from there, then the lady will see a lot of things that she never wanted. If they get caught, then they'll be in trouble. Sharena understands that Evans cares about her so much, after which she keeps hitting the guy on the shoulders and says that he is a pro, so why doesn't he just fight back everyone who shows up? The guy then says, okay, and suggests they go. When they go down, the main character realizes that they have been walking for quite a long time. It is so quiet there, but the atmosphere is creepy. It is like going to the dungeon of the strongest boss in the game. At that moment, the lady hears someone growling and wonders if it is a monster. But when the lady turns around in that direction, she is horrified and wonders what the hell this is. The lady sees children in front of her and understands that they are her peers, and there are even children younger than her. They are all scarred, and their eyes are devoid of the will to live, so the girl wonders if they were tortured. Sharena turns to Evans and asks what happened to these children. The guy is silent for a while, and then sighs, and says that it is all the top of Lunash, and one can say that he is the head of the organization. Their main task is to prepare talented children for the highest ranks. The main character then asks if this is really what she thinks, and the guy replies that yes, these children were brought from all corners of the country as candidates for the organization. The main character is shocked and asks who raises children like this, because the EXO looks like they are tortured in this prison. Eason says that their methods are extremely perverted, and children must undergo testing to get into the organization. The whole process is quite cruel. Testing is a fight for life, and these guys will have to betray and plunge each other into eternal sleep until only 3 of them remain. The main character is shocked and thinks, how can they do this to innocent children? After which she even thinks that if everything is so, then perhaps Evans also went through this. The young man with a smile on his face answers that this is true, because he also grew up there, and Sharena claims that smiling is extremely inappropriate. The guy claims that it was terrible, because the boss always tortured them when he was angry, and they forced him to eat poisoned food. And that is why it is hard for him to eat normally. But nevertheless, he survived, therefore, with the thought that he will definitely take revenge. But at the same moment, the main heroine closes his mouth and tells the guy to stop. After all this makes her angry, and why does he speak as if what he experienced means nothing? The young man replies that he is simply worried that the lady will start to be afraid of him, and the main character asks why. The guy replies that in order to get out of there, you need to become an absolute winner and accept this damned mark, and also join the organizations. Red liquid on his hands, and she can't even imagine. The main character even claims this, that he did all this against his will. And it's just terrible. How can you force your own son to go through something like this? And moreover, he was just a child. So how can the earth bear such cruel people? Now she understands perfectly why the guy hates his father, and the girl tells him to never dare forgive him. After all, she will definitely help him. The guy smiles after this, and claims that now he regrets even more that he brought her there. The main character asks what he is talking about, and her interlocutor replies that something terrible could happen if they go further. He feels sick just thinking about the fact that the person who is so worried about him could be in danger.